Today, Top 30 is the only company in the world able to design, produce, set up and manage a top-level competition. Everything within the same company. Everything with the trustworthiness and professionalism that an official competition requires. Everything. Top 30. Top 30. The heart of climbing.
At the North Face, we don't just test our gear. We prove it. Athlete tested, expedition proven. Backed by a lifetime warranty.
Well, welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia in the USA. We are here for a lead final of a World Cup for the IFSC's World Cup season. I'm joined by Alex Johnson. Alex, how are you feeling?
I'm very excited for tonight's finals. We're going to have a great performance for the men and a great performance for the women. And I'm really looking forward to see who's going to come out on top.
Well, remember, Alex is going to be with me all the way through this competition. Any questions you might have in the chat room, do send them in to us. We will find answers for you as best we can. What about the excitement of some of the younger climbers making it through into the finals, like Domen Skofic, only 18 years old. Katarina Posch, we are used to seeing her in finals, but again, she's only 18 years old. It's quite a turnaround. Have you seen those that kind of thing before?
With Katarina Posch, definitely been in finals a couple times before, World Championships and World Cups. But Skofic is a young gun. He's a new name for the World Cup circuit, and I'm really looking forward to see what he can do at this event.
Well, what about this gym here? We're in Stone Summit at the moment in Atlanta. It's the nation's largest indoor climbing center. You'll get to see a bit more of that as we move through this competition. We were just having a look at the routes that we're about to see. Should we have a talk about the routes and how long they are?
The routes are epically long. This gym is 60 feet tall from the ground up, not including the angle of elevation. It's 75 feet long per route probably. The route that we have for the women is 62 moves, and the routes snake all over the place. So on a 60-foot wall with the route going all over the place, these climbers are going to get really pumped.
And that's for the men and for the women as well. The men's route is just behind us. You might be able to catch a little bit of a glimpse of that, but we're not going to show you too much of that before we bring out our athletes now as well. Two female athletes from Slovenia as well in the final. That's Maja Vidmar and also Mina Markovic, two names that we are very familiar with hearing, but also both of them have finger injuries, or have had finger injuries recently over the past year or so. Maja had one in 2007 that took her out of the season. After 7 consecutive gold medals, Maja then was out of the season. And Mina Markovic also had a broken thumb earlier this year. Do you think that's going to be something that reoccurs throughout a career, a finger injury? Quite a serious thing. I
don't know if the thumb injury will be reoccurring, but Maja's finger injury has definitely not caught up with her, but it comes back and it affects her. It's cool to see her back in finals. Both Slovenian girls, it's not surprising at all to see them in finals, but the fact that they both have finger injuries is ironic, and they both powered through it and made the top 8 here.
What about the only female athlete to actually top out? We had a really interesting semis earlier today with the female athlete, Helene. Janicot is the only athlete to make it all the way to the top of the wall. A really, really hard route. From your angle as a female athlete, what did it look like to you? What was the main problem there around that blue pinch hold?
I think the blue pinch move was really powerful, and a lot of the not quite as powerful climbers had a little trouble cruxing through that move, and Johanna Ernst was one of the first ones to get through, and she's a really powerful climber. Jain Kim got very far on the route. I thought she was going to finish, but yeah, Helene Janicot was the only girl to finish, French climber, and she looked pretty smooth the entire way up. So finals tonight's going to be really interesting.
Okay, so those are just some of the athletes we are about to see here in the final in Atlanta. We're going to pass over right now down onto the ground to Scott, who is our man on the ground. He's going to introduce the athletes as they come out to have observation time on the wall. We'll see you in a few moments' time, guys.
For the ladies, Maya Vidmar from Slovenia. From Spain, Ramon Julian. Ramon. From Korea, Kim Jain. For the men, Romain de Grange from France. And from France as well, Janicot. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your finalists for this evening. At this time, they will now go into the route preview.
Well, hi there, guys. We are now back at the desk, ready to go. Here is Alex. I'm going to get Alex to say a little bit of a hello to you guys as you join us in the chat, and we show you these athletes going through and having a look at their routes on the ground here.
Good evening, everyone out there watching. If you guys watched earlier, if you tuned into the semifinals, it was a really exciting round. We had two really difficult routes for the men and the women. Both genders getting pretty shut down kind of at a midway point, and then with only a few competitors really getting past that, and those are the competitors that we see in finals tonight. The men and the women are pretty typical, no real big surprises except maybe Domen Skofic. He's the only one who's, I mean, not even a surprise, but he's a bit of a dark horse, I would say. So pretty typical results, I think, in finals here for the men.
Local accountants in the Atlanta area.
I completely agree with that as well. Yeah, Domen Skofic, a definite surprise in the final. There was the other surprise of Mario Lechner making it through as well. 21-year-old athlete, world ranked 11th, made the finals in Purs. But will he be able to take his first podium here on a senior circuit? This is something that we want to see happen as we move through the competition. How are you guys all doing? Good evening to you. Welcome to Stone Summit here. As we get ready, there is our crane shot, just giving you an idea of what the wall is looking like. And here we are. This is what we're looking at here. This is the top of the men's route here.
That's a super nice crane shot. And to be noted, most of the actual camera workers here and the spotlight workers are all volunteer. We do have the Louder Than 11 crew. Yeah, we do have the Louder Than 11 crew directing them and helping them out, but everyone running cameras today, everyone is volunteer, so that's pretty exciting. I bet they feel super important.
So yes, we are here at Stone Summit. These are 60 feet high walls, guys, and it is the nation's largest indoor climbing center. How about while we are just waiting for these athletes as they go through, pairing up, as I knew this would happen, Jakob, Schubert and Jorg Verhoeven getting together again to talk through what's going on here. Well, how about while we're waiting for that, we have a Dan and Alex's fun fact. How about that? Let's do a Dan and Alex's.
I'm so excited to be incorporated in these fun facts.
You're 100% in on the fun facts now, Alex. So I hope everyone's ready for this one. The name for Six Flags Over Georgia was inspired by 6 different flags that have actually flown over the state during its history. And you're going to tell us what those are, Alex.
So the 6 flags are Spain, France, Great Britain, the United States, the Confederate States of America, and the state of Georgia.
Alex Johnson for her first ever Dan and Alex's fun fact. We're making history here tonight, guys. Well, there you are. There's just a Dan's fun fact to start things off with you. And there is Jakob and Jorg still talking through things. It's another no surprise there to see Ramon de Grange chatting with Sean Mccoll down on the ground. Sean is fluent in French.
And you will see like languages definitely previewing together. Jorg speaks fluent German, Jakob's Austrian. They're going to preview together. Sean speaks fluent French. He's going to preview with the French. So it's definitely really helpful to have someone out there who you can kind of talk with and suss the moves out with, who speaks the same language as you.
And the opposite of that there is Dinara fakritdinova, who's now standing around on her own, taking her own moments as she thinks through how she's going to attack this one. There is also that issue, not an issue, but the idea of using binoculars now that's creeping in more and more. I think they're definitely going to need them down on the ground here. These are 60-foot high walls with a lot of overhangs and different dimensions on the walls. Binoculars would definitely be an advantage down on the ground. Dinara is actually there with Katarina Posch though, so there we are.
They're not talking though. It's mostly just hand gestures.
It's miming. I like to call it climb mime.
Binoculars,
so this is when they do the climb mime?
The climb mime. I think binoculars are going to come in handy a lot, especially for the women, as their holds for their final route are all white, and they tend to kind of blend in with the chalk that's been left over on the wall. Some of the footholds are probably going to be a little hard to see from the ground, and yeah, I think binoculars would definitely come in handy.
But there you are again, Sachi, Amada and Domen Skofic standing next to each other, doing exactly the same thing again there. It proves that the language barrier really isn't an issue with climbing at all, because it is all based on the hand gestures and just talking through what you think you're going to do. Looking at the wall, it's a very physical thing, so you can show that physically without having to talk that language. Obviously it helps, and we do see the guys that do speak the same language pairing up all the time. Any of you that are joining us now in the chat room, welcome, good evening, welcome to Stone Summit. Any questions you might have, send them in to us. And yes, Adam saying that in the chat room, I think I'll have to agree with that. Climbing is an international language. Well, definitely climb mime. Climb mime is definitely an international language. There is Jakob Schubert and Mario Lechner. So, MT Thom 106, welcome to the chat room. The max time for the final routes are 8 minutes. All athletes only have 8 minutes to be able to top out on the wall here. And I don't know what's going to happen here. I couldn't even hesitate a guess as to how these guys are going to get on with these routes. They're so long, so powerful. It's going to be really interesting to see them coming out and trying to attack on this one.
climbers will be coming out one at a time here. We'll do, I think, the women first with Dinara, and then the men. It's going to be every other male, women climbing opposite each other, and it'll be easier to watch. We won't have the split screen for you guys. It'll just be one climber at a time. And first for the women is Dinara fakritdinova.
Good.
I'm learning. I've been practicing.
So this is the female finalists as they stand at the moment. So Dinara fakritdinova, the one that is so used to landing in that cursed 9th place. She's had 2 of them this year alone, not making it into the finals. But here she is in the first final here. Katarina Posch, Mina Markovic, Johanna Ernst, Suran, Vidmar, Jain, and Helene Janicot. Those are our 8 female finalists about to come out and give us a show here, and some really big names in that one. We're not going to be disappointed at all as we move through this competition here. There you can see some of the dimensions of the gym as well. That's our lock-off shot that we're bringing to you while we show you these graphics. But just look at the walls here. Look at the way that they're built and the way that they're constructed. Some really interesting dimensions in the background. Any questions that you might have, again, as I've said, do send them in to us. I'll go through the route difficulties, as I spotted that question a few moments ago. I'll go through the route difficulties in a few moments' time. For now, let's have a look at the male finalists that are coming out as well. Lechner of Austria, Jorg Verhoeven, Domen Skofic, Mccoll, Jakob Schubert, Sachi Ramon Julian and Ramon de Grange. Again, big names featuring here in the final. Those are our 8 finalists for the men. 2 surprises though, Domen Skofic and Lechner, those younger athletes starting to push into the senior circuit and starting to make a name for themselves as well. Okay, so you're currently with our roaming camera guy, one of the louder than 11 guys, and that is Jordan Shipman down on the ground, giving you some of those interesting shots as well. And here's our crane cam showing you the overhang of the wall too.
Staying up late, depending where they're at in the world. So we have commentators up top, Dan and AJ, they're doing a live feed as well. And then on your
So let's take a few moments now to have a little bit of a chat about what we're looking at on the routes as well. We've got them coming up in a few moments' time. Alicia, do not worry about the interviews. I promise you, at the end of this comp, we'll be down there on the ground, grabbing everybody that we possibly can. I don't let them go. It's
I could
my
probably
sport.
pass on Sean's phone number too, if you're interested.
Don't let the chat room know these things, Alex. There will be carnage if you let the chat room know these sorts of things. But yeah, I get to practice athlete hunting. That's my sport. I go down there with my net.
Good luck.
No, you're coming. I don't
What?
know. Yeah, you're coming too.
I'm supposed to hold down the fort up here, I think.
No, big time. No, you're
I'm supposed to
coming.
hold the table up.
You don't want to hunt with me? Okay, so let's have a little bit of a chat through these routes. We've got an 8C for the men's. It's an 8C route, relatively easy start. Then we've got some really interesting moves. As we move up onto the crux on the wall, there's a really interesting swing out, a little pop with your hands there, which is going to leave the athletes literally dangling off the edge of this point on the wall. It's just in the bottom left of your screen there at the moment. The crowds start picking up, and the first man to come out on that route will be Lechner of Austria. So let's stick with this route for now. Keep talking about this one, because we are alternate in this final, guys. So not only are you getting to see 16 of the best athletes in the world, you're getting to see all that coverage one at a time. We're going to bring you up close and personal to these athletes as they make their climb here on the 60-foot high walls of the gym here in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Another question from MT Hom 106. You're asking about the routes here, whether they will be open to the public. I'm not sure whether they'll be open to the public at the gym. No, I'm not sure on that one. I will try and find that out for you, because that is an interesting question. And Stone Summit is definitely somewhere to head down to. Alex, I know that you're dying to get on the walls here as well. Give it a go.
Yeah, totally. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep the roots up. At least tape them a different color, and then they'll probably set around them, so the roots will stay up, but they definitely have to fill the wall space with a bunch of other roots.
Scott, yeah, I did do some climbing. It was more like falling than climbing, but yeah, I did carry on that one. And there's Graham answering that question for us in the chat. So MT Hom 106, there it is, Graham Alderson there, one of the IFSC technical delegates. They are keeping the routes up here, so if you can get yourself down to Stone Summit, you can have a go on a World Cup standard route. So here we are with Mario Lechner, the 21-year-old Austrian climber. And one of the surprises coming through with us into the finals here.
This route is rated 8C, so we're definitely going to see a lot of difficult moves here, a lot of powerful moves, a lot of technical moves. I think the route setters are going to try to do a really good job of splitting up the field, because semifinals maybe were a little more compact than they wanted, so hopefully this route splits the field up really nice and you get an obvious ranking here in finals.
So Mario Lechner, world ranked number 11. He's 11th on the world rankings. On the World Cup rankings for this year, though, he's 13th at the moment. And that has been due to his 7th place placement at PERS just recently. So he managed to make a final in PERS. He also made a final in Changzhou last year in China. That is still coming up again this year, remember, guys. This is that point on the wall I was talking to you about, with the no feet hanging down there on that ledge. And look at the fact that the lights are on now. It looks like he could just fall into an abyss if he came off the wall here. And that's just because of how high the walls here are. So Mario now pushing up onto this section. It's a really, really long route, this one, guys. He's going to move up over this roof that you can see to the left-hand side, down onto another section of the wall, that bulging section that looks like the prow of a ship, and down onto the front of that one, back up again the other side and round up to the top. It's a really, really long route. They're going to be really feeling it in their hands and their arms by the time they get there. Mario looking good so far, though. A lot of support from the ground with the crowd gathering and getting bigger and bigger here.
Not yet. For those of you listening not on the live chat, if you don't want to ask us questions on the live chat, you can ask us questions on Twitter at @AskAlex, or the number sign at Alex. I don't have a Twitter.
That's the one where you can pour in some questions as well. Get yourself onto Twitter as well. While you're on Twitter, get yourself over to the IFSC's Twitter page and click follow on that one for any future updates on competitions and where we are in the world. All the support makes a difference. We want to see you guys coming in and saying hello to us. And yeah, Scott, you're already on it as well, talking about, oh no, it's Joe Alpine saying that one. What a long route this one is. It is huge. All the way up to the top here, it's that little mini roof, and then he's now got to go down a lot lower than it actually looks like he needs to go down.
And the down climbing makes this route significantly longer. The routes are already 60 feet tall. That's not even how long they are. 60 feet tall, at least 75 feet long, and the men's route goes down 10 feet and then has to go back up on the other side.
Those same 10 feet before carrying on to the higher section on the wall. It is a huge, huge route as well. And there is Mario shaking his hands out now to see what's going to happen here. No doubt the route setters are feeling a little bit shaky right now as to see Mario makes such a strong start here. Let's hope he can keep it up as he moves through this one. Mario, a lot of first place positions on the European Youth Series.
You can see his arm kind of start to chicken wing out there. That's how you can tell that he's starting to get pumped. He's starting to get tired. He's already climbed, what, 50 moves? 40 moves? Trying to keep it together, stay calm, breathe, get oxygen into his muscles so he can relax and try to depump a little bit.
That's an interesting point from AVG in the chat room a few moments ago. I know he's a regular. He's getting a bit shaky now though, Alex. He's looking like he's getting a bit shaky. I'll get back to that point in a minute. Because Mario, can he hold on to this one here? It's definitely going to be starting to take its toll now, but the crowd are going wild here for this.
He's already doing a really impressive job being that pumped. Everyone everyone can see physically how pumped he is. And to be able to power through that pump and keep climbing just a couple more moves is really impressive.
He was really, really shaking then for a moment. It looks like he's having a bit of a respite now. He's got a toe hook around that feature just there, and he's pinching that hold and resting on it.
He looks like he seems to have gotten a little bit of juice back in that rest there with the toe hook, and we'll see what he can do up on the head wall here.
Looked like he was going to see it all the way to the top there. It got very, very close, and Mario has got to be happy with that one.
Definitely
there is a smile on his
excellent
face.
Performance.
There you can see the crowd's appreciation of that. What a brilliant thing to start us off here on our World Cup here in Atlanta. Mario Lechner of Austria, about 6 moves away from topping out on one of the longest routes I have ever seen. And he knows it. There he is on the ground, giving us a bit of a wave. A 66 plus for Mario Lechner there. So yeah, back to that point I was talking to you about with AVG in the chat room. You were talking about the routes. A lot of the climbers saying that in the semis, the routes started off fairly easy and got progressively harder the higher up you got. I can tell you that there's a lot more of that still to come. Vincent, the head route setter, on both of these routes that I've talked through with him on, has said the exact same thing. They start relatively easy and they get much, much harder the higher you go. Especially for the women's route, progressively more difficult the higher you go on the wall. The higher you go, the harder it is. We're about to see our first athlete for the women's come out in a few moments' time, and we'll see just how she gets on.
First up for the women, we will have Dinara Fakritdinova from Russia. She's 18 years old, 19 years old, young climber, but has been in the youth circuit for a very long time and done really well.
Dinara is 19, born in 1992. World rank 19th at the moment. Her World Cup ranking in 2012 was 12th.
This is her first finals, I think. She, the last 2 World Cups has been just out of finals in 9th place.
And it really looked like in Briançon she was going to make it into the finals. There was this really horrible moment where the athletes were made to wait while the judges went through all of the video footage to try and decide, as it was very close going through to the finals, who was going to make it into those all-important A places. I saw Dinara hanging around outside with quite a few other female athletes just biting their nails, waiting to see what was going to happen. And actually it turned out that she didn't quite make it. So 2 9th place positions. She has the curse of 9th place. And let's hope now that she's made it into this final, she can prove that she deserves to be here and she can show us all what she's got. And a very good question there from Ravid. Thanks for reminding me. The grading on this route, why not talk about that one, huh? Hal has already nearly got it. It's an 8B plus, guys. On this one, it's an 8B plus. The men's is an 8C. The women's is an 8B plus. This one is the one that gets progressively more difficult the higher they go on the wall. The higher, the harder. Second half from the golf ball, which is just about the same distance again away from. It's a golf ball shaped volume on the wall. From about that point onwards, it gets really, really tough. And me and you were talking a little bit earlier, weren't we, Alex, about the roof on this one here. What we're thinking of that.
The roof looks like the trickiest section of the climb. I definitely know that this climb gets progressively harder. Almost every move is a little bit harder than the last one. The holds get a little bit worse. And the route setters and I were talking, and we don't know if we're going to see a top of this route tonight. Getting through that roof section, I think, is going to be really tricky for a lot of the girls.
You wait till you see it in a few moments' time, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. This roof section later on. It's almost like horizontal bouldering at the top here.
I did hear that last boulder problem up there, so the last clip you can cut, no, you can't see it at all, is right on the roof, but then there's like maybe 8 feet to the final hold, and the 8 feet from the last clip up to the final hold is really difficult there.
Well, Dinara now just moving on to the first section of first little mini route here. She's going to have to start traversing left. There you can see just briefly that circle hold that you saw from that pan there. That's the golf ball that we're talking about. You'll see in a few moments' time. She's going to start traversing to the left, and then she's got a vertical straight now in front of her as these holds get harder and harder and harder. We've got a perfect position here as well, haven't we, Alex? Up on the balcony, we're literally
front row
face
seats.
to face.
Obviously climbing very confidently and smooth as she cuts her feet there. She must not be tired yet.
You see the best of the best here in the World Cup. You see they're just so smart in the way they compete, warm up, climb. So lucky. For the young kids, something to aspire to for sure.
And here she is reaching the golf ball volume that Dan was talking about. And as we said before, this route is going to get progressively harder every move following this big feature right here.
Well, she is now on that golf ball. She's now moving on. She's got to keep going along this one until she hits the wall just in front of her with that collection, the mishmash of volumes ahead of her. And then she's got to start twisting herself around to climb straight again. So really putting them through their paces in terms of feeling where they are climbing, in terms of the dimensions on this wall. They just go all over. It's like an Escher painting.
Yeah, the crowd is being super supportive here. Almost in full splits.
So, Rora joining us in the chat room asking how long have they got on the wall. Each of the athletes gets a maximum time of 8 minutes to try and top out on this wall. If you are new to climbing, it's pretty simple when you come down to the lead one actually, which is why we were saying earlier about the Olympic movement, why it's been chosen. If we only get one to go through to the Olympics, it would be this one. It would be the lead competition that goes through to the Olympics. And that's because if you are new to the sport, it's pretty simple. The higher you go, the higher you place.
I definitely agree with lead being the difficulty or the discipline that bids for the Olympic bye. It is much easier to score than bouldering.
Well, unfortunately, that is it for Dinara fakritdinova. A fantastic first effort there. I think the women's one is going to be the real one that starts being the interesting one here as you move through this one. Larry James Hall joining us in the chat room. It's nice to see you back with us. The only person that has topped on the women's route so far today, this is the finals, and that was in the semis, and that was Helene Janicot of France, the only woman to top the route in the semi-finals, and that was the only top for the women so far. Dinara, unfortunately, not making a top there either, and no top so far in the finals. We've only had Mario Lechner so far with a 66 plus, so no top for the first male athlete, and now Dinara fakritdinova, no top for her either. So we're waiting for our next male athlete to come out and join us. So here is Jorg Verhoeven now coming out. I managed to get into the ISO a little bit earlier and started having a chat with the athletes while they were waiting to come out. I was sitting for a while with Jakob, Schubert and Jorg as they played cards in the ISO, sitting on one of the mats. So that just goes to show how long these athletes are locked away, not able to do anything but wait as the tension builds before they're allowed to climb on these walls. Jorg Verhoeven, the 27-year-old athlete, currently living in Innsbruck, world ranked number 8. He was 6th at Purs just recently and came 5th at the World Championship in Paris as well. So Jorg just starting out here on this long route. Alex, will you take us through exactly what he's doing right now as he moves on to this this apex point on the roof here, this crux? Well, this next move is the one that's going to be interesting to watch. There's the swing out. And then remember, he's got to get all the way onto this next roof that's round to the left-hand side of where he is right now. Once he's past the left roof here, he's got to move down onto another wall, over another gap, and onto this prow-like structure you can just see on the left-hand side of your screen. He's got to go down that prow then, and then back up again on the other side before moving up towards the final holds. A good 10 feet higher than where he's got to go down to again. So it is a really, really long route as well. Remember as well, if you want to see any of the previous footage from any of the competitions we cover at ifsc.tv, you can get yourself onto YouTube and have a look at the IFSC's YouTube channel there as well. A nice cry of support from the crowd there. You can see him shaking a little bit here. He's really having to control his breathing. He's definitely feeling the pressure right now. So now he has to start going down this prow-shaped structure on the walls. He's got to go all the way down and then across and then back up again the other side. And where you can see the large volume there to the left-hand side, that isn't even near the top. He's got to carry on going above that one again. So here he is navigating these two features on the wall now. He's coming out, he's going to strike left now for a pinch, shuffle his feet round a little bit and then push up onto that volume with the crack in the central point of it. Looks like a pair of lips. Well, there you are. There you can see the size of this gym and where Mario Lechner reached compared to where we now watch Jorg Verhoeven on the wall. There he is with his hands on the lips there, moving round to the left-hand side. Looks a bit tentative, he's got to lean into the wall here. He's only a few moves away from where we just saw Mario Lechner reach before he came down from the wall. And unbelievably, Jorg Verhoeven comes down earlier than where we saw Mario Lechner reach a few moments ago. So, is this going to be an exciting one, or do you think we're going to see a lot of athletes hitting about the same section of the wall? Do we think we're going to see a lot of tops as we hit some of the greats when they come out in a few moments' time?
Hello.
Do it again, Alex. Tell us again.
And we're back.
Can I
I'm
tell
back.
them why?
I didn't turn it off. Someone else turned it off. I think someone pranked me. Anyway.
I promise you now, I'm not punking
How long has that
Alex.
been off for?
Not punking Alex.
I think the route setter's plan for tonight is to get the climbers up really high before they spit them off. I think for spectator purposes and for overall, like, pleasing everyone watching, they want the climbers to get up really high, and every move is going to be a little bit higher, so the higher you go, the harder it's going to be, and climbers are going to really start to get spit off here, but I think it's going to be really eye-appealing for all the climbers to get so far up and then kind of stagger placement there.
Well, here is our next female athlete, Katarina Posch of Austria. Very strong team, Austria, and Katarina now comes out to join us on the wall. One of the younger athletes making it through into the finals here. She's only 18 years old. She lives in Imst, but she's already world ranked 5th. So she's definitely one to watch out for. Currently on the World Cup rankings this year, she is 9th overall. And last year she finished up 5th at the end of 2011. She was 3rd at Singapore recently as well. So remember that while she holds a 5th place world ranking, she's also still competing on the World Youth Championship circuit. At the same time, she was 3rd there this year. She took the bronze in Singapore. But she's also podiumed at Grange, Valence and Xining in China on the IFSC senior circuit last year. Okay, Rod and everybody else that's joining us in the chat room, me and Alex are going to do this at the exact same time.
One time and one time only.
It's one time only.
We will not say it again for the rest of the night.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
The Mexicans missed ISO.
Okay, that's the only time we're going to say that one, all right? As we now join Katarina Posch on the wall here. If you want to find any information about any of these athletes, get yourself over onto ifsc-climbing.org. You can find any information you want to find out about any of these athletes on there as well. So there you are, we've answered that question for the one and only time this evening. We've had it a lot during the semis. Katarina now just coming up to this point on the wall. We saw Dinara start to slow down a little bit on. It was about here, Dinara started going slow before she started to push up towards the golf ball. No problem, Rod. It's fine. It's just that we've had it so many times today. We thought we'd just prep something in case. So yeah, Katarina's now going to start to turn herself around so she can go up on this diagonal straight, to then turn herself around again to go up on another diagonal straight before she hits this route that we think is going to be causing all the problems for the women's later on today.
And this route is 62 moves long. 62, not just handholds, but moves, including matches, crosses. Gym is 60 feet tall, very overhanging. It's at least 75 feet of climbing. The route snakes up and then the left elevation up again, and then to the right through the tricky roof section, and we will finish with 62 moves, and it's impressive to see the endurance of these climbers.
Remember as well, guys, we only allow nice people into the chat room. Any people that are generally not nice, they get thrown out of the chat room pretty quick, so brace yourself, okay? We like to hear talk about climbing. Well, here is Katarina Posch with a heel hook as she now moves towards that golf ball before having to turn around again and push up towards this roof. I really want to see how the athletes get on when they reach the roof here on the wall.
That golf ball looks to be a really tricky hold for the girls here. I think this is going to be the initial start of the crux of the rest of the route.
So just to go through what the routes are again for you, just to let you guys know exactly what you're looking at here. These routes are, this is an 8B plus for the women's and an 8C for the men's. An 8B plus for the women's and an 8C for the men's. So Katarina now has turned again, and now she goes up on another diagonal straight. Crushing around an arête here as she pushes up towards that roof.
She's starting to look a little pumped here. The crowd's getting behind her.
Well, she's doing good here. We haven't seen anybody get up this high yet. Dinara come up just before this one. Now this is the point that we were talking about, right, Alex? This is the point we're going to see them start to struggle.
I think the route starts to get tricky right about here. I was talking with Chris Danielson, one of the route setters, and the way he put it is that the roof is going to be powerful, but it's not tricky. There's no 360s. They don't turn around at all. They don't go feet first. He said that most of the holds on the roof section are straight in cuts, so you kind of just got to climb through it quickly, and then overcoming the roof is where it's going to be really tricky here.
Well, this is that roof that she's on right now. This is the point that we're going to see her really having to focus as she moves through this section.
She knows she has to go left hand first here, but it's not a secure move, and it's a little scary heading off like that.
The crowd are loving this one, but do you know what I mean about it being like horizontal bouldering?
Yes, definitely. She's got to make this clip.
Can she do this now? Katarina Posch of Austria, 18 years old.
Here. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, that looks like a hard move. Crushed it.
But a round of applause. There's Christoph, one of our IFSC officials, moving out to make sure everything's okay at the base of the wall as Katarina Posch comes down. And we go and see Jordan down on the ground. Letting us have a look at how Katarina is feeling now coming down from that wall. Nate Close, I'm assuming that by that Korean girl will get farther, I bet. You were talking about Kim Jain, and I'm sure that Korean girl is definitely going to come out and show us how it's done in a few moments' time, but still a fantastic effort there from Katarina Posch as she moved quite far into that roof. I was thinking it was going to be earlier than that, the really tough moves were, but she managed it really well.
She battled through really hard. You could see that she was a little pumped in the beginning of the route section and relaxed a little, shook out a little, and managed to climb a little bit farther than I think maybe even she expected.
So we are now going back over onto the male wall for Our dark horse in the competition, our surprise, moving into a final, it is Domen Skofic of Slovenia, about to come out and attempt this male problem. Now, do we think that this could be down to, I mean, it's obviously down to endurance, this competition. It's such a long route. Domen is a very young climber, he's very new to these kind of things. Do you reckon that could be something that moves against him?
It's definitely hard to say for a slightly less inexperienced competitor, but he definitely held his own in semifinals for sure, qualifying as the 6th male. And early on in the competition too, he was ranked pretty low in semifinals and held the high point for a really long time. So I think he could surprise us all.
Well, here is Domen on this 8C route now, moving up. Our next athlete out on the ground. 18 years old, world ranked 16th already. He was 2nd in Singapore early this year at the World Youth Championships.
He's done very well coming up in the Youth World Cups. A lot of first places, 6 or 7 first places, always in finals in the Youth Worlds. I think this is one of his first adult World Cups, and not making finals before. And I know that he was in the lead World Cup last year at Movement in Boulder, Colorado, and I think he placed 18th. And one of the other boys in semifinals said he placed 19th, and he said for his goal for this year was only to beat Domen. Obviously that didn't happen because Domen's in finals, and he must have trained his butt off or had an amazing day. Let's see what he can do.
He must have surely, in the past year or so, really stepped up his game, really started focusing on training a lot more. I know that he was very nervous about planning his move from the juniors into the senior category as the competition goes up so much. But every time I speak to him, he tells me about how exciting it is to climb amongst the greats, the people that are used to being on these kind of difficult routes. So for him, it's just, I think, a joy to be here.
It's totally inspirational to be able to climb side by side with veteran competitors such as Jorg Verhoeven, Ramon, Julian, Sachi, Amada, Jakob, Schubert, who's current world champion. Definitely remember my first adult pro comp. I think I was climbing between Lisa Rands and Emily Harrington. I was like 12, and I didn't care how I did. I don't even remember how I did, but the fact that I was climbing between 2 big names was so inspiring that it made me keep coming back, and I'm sure he feels the same way. He's just excited to be in finals with the rest of these strong dudes.
Well, he's got to move now round to the left and get onto this roof here. Just to answer Luca in the chat room, I know we are reading you loud and clear on that one. Do remember as well that the stream that you're currently watching is entirely free around the world, provided for you by the IFSC. So welcome to live free streaming of the best climbing in the world on the World Cups. We're here to enjoy that climbing and hopefully bring you the best coverage we possibly can of that one as well. Thank you if you are joining us. Welcome to IFSC.tv. We're now with Domen Skofic on the 40th hold with 3 minutes 40 gone so far on the clock. Only 8 minutes altogether that he has, but look at him, he's still within 4 minutes and he's way over halfway on this route now.
It's curious to think about whether faster climbing is beneficial on routes this long if you should kind of speed through everything to, I don't know, kind of save your energy, or if you should go slow and rest a lot to preserve energy. I'm not sure what the best way to do that would be here today. It looks like he's kind of moving a little bit faster than the climbers before him. And I know that up-and-coming Sean Mccoll is a very fast climber as well, so we'll see if that comes in handy, being able to move really quick and maybe out-climb the pump, or go slow and shake it out.
Domen now needs to start going down on this wall. Let's hope he has the endurance to stick this here. He is one of the younger athletes. Now moving down as low as he needs to go. He needs to traverse to the left now and then push up again onto that lip-shaped volume that's just on the left-hand side, top left of your screen at present. But an interesting route, right? Look at all the different angles. It's like, as I said earlier, it feels like they're kind of climbing on an Escher painting.
He's actually right now facing 180 degrees opposite of the way he was facing when he started the route on the ground.
Well, unfortunately, that puts him in third place, which means that he will most likely not be podiuming here in Atlanta. Got a little bit awkward there. What a shame for Domen, but what a fantastic way to start pushing into the senior circuit.
Yeah,
18
he
years old.
cannot be disappointed with that performance. It's his first time making finals in an adult World Cup, and he has got to be psyched.
Yeah, too easy, liking my vocab there, podiuming. This is a new word that I've invented along with climb mime. We're going to start building a dictionary, I think, yeah? You up for that, Alex?
Definitely. I think there actually is one.
Interesting question from Alex123. I think it's very possible to get at least 5,000 to 6,000 down on the ground here. But I believe that because they're providing all these luscious seats for the people that are watching, we've got a crowd of about 1,000. Oh, there you are, from Graham. If they use upstairs, they can get 2,500. So, no, nowhere near the amount that I was offering for you there. 2,500, but we've taken over upstairs.
They're not allowed upstairs.
Not allowed upstairs.
We don't want them to crowd our thrones.
It's just a huge area down on the ground. I think if you can open up the bouldering section as well, we could get a couple more in, I'm sure. Well, Mina Markovic now comes out to join us, and for those of you that are following our dictionary throughout the year, what is the one thing that needs to be said right now in the chat room about Mina Markovic? That's what I want to know. That's my next question to you guys. She makes a start here on the wall. Mina Markovic, the 24-year-old athlete from Maribor, lives in Patui at the moment. World ranked second. She is on the World Cup rank so far, 2012, first, despite having to miss out the World Championships just recently as well. She was first in 2011, and she was second at the end of 2010. This lady is used to being in the finals. And yes, you all got it straight away, epic level back muscles. It's a shame that she's not got the normal best, because you can see, especially if you're new to climbing and you're only just joining us on the live feed, to be able to look at how incredibly toned these guys are, the amount of training that they have to do, and the amount of commitment that goes into it is just incredible. So here is Mina at the moment. Somebody asking what the time limit is, and Scott answering straight away. It's 8 minutes.
I'd like to give a shout out to Chris Webb Parsons, fellow commentator, listening over in England with
Betrayer.
Alex Puccio.
Traitor.
The traitor.
The runaway.
The traitor. You have to say it like that.
You doing the English accent thing
The
again?
traitor. Chris Webb Parsons, the traitor. G'day, mate.
Hi there, Chris. I'm going to talk a bit like you
Where's
for a
Sasha?
few moments. while we
Sasha's
move
actually
through
in the
this.
chat. So you can ask her yourself.
Well, Mina is also a boulderer. She's extremely healthy, so don't worry about that one. She's very fit, very able physical climber, and this kind of wall should suit her. There's a lot of bouldery-like moves almost on certain parts on the wall, and she's also got the endurance from being a lead climber as well to try and pull them off. I think if we're going to see some exciting climbing and possibly even a top, Mina could be the lady to show that one to us today.
It's very likely that Mina gets, if not a top, at least high point on this route. She's a very confident climber, very highly ranked in the bouldering as well as the lead. Sorry, Sasha, I opened a massive can of worms.
Hi, Sasha. Even I'm going to join in. So, Mina Markovic now moving onto the wall. Mina earlier today, it's rare to see her coming through into a final in such a low position. She was 6th of the 8 that came through. She only managed a 36 plus in the semi-finals earlier today. She topped both of the routes in the qualifications. One of only a very few athletes to do that. There was only, I think, 5 athletes altogether that topped both of the routes. Mina managed to do that there, but a low score in semis, which is strange.
Something to be noted about Mina is that she is climbing with, I think, a broken thumb, if it hasn't already healed. But she broke her thumb in Munich, I believe. And
that's definitely what we were told.
A very short recovery time.
That's what she's told us anyway.
Or she's powering through the injury.
So Mina Markovic now moving onto this crushing section on the wall. She looked a little bit shaky there actually before securing that move. She had to adjust her hands for a moment there. Well, Lilos, I can tell you now that I have already interviewed Mina, and the thing that she told me was that the thumb had been broken. The reason that we're talking about it so much is because I can't believe she's already back climbing. If she had a broken thumb, I was sure that it would take longer to heal. It happened in Munich, which you can watch online if you want to get onto IFSC's YouTube channel. You can watch it there. Yeah, it was just a surprise to see her back so soon after only missing out the World Championships after a broken thumb.
Mina still looks pretty calm and collected here as she's making her way through this roof section that I'm told is going to be pretty difficult to pull through by one of the route setters. She doesn't look to be too pumped at all. And that's like the 4th time she's done the splits.
The crowd are really getting behind her here now. I can see that she's really having to control her breathing though. The athletes are really going to start to get tired at this point on the wall. There's still quite a way to go once she gets past this roof as well on the women's route.
It seems like there might be a little bit of rope drag. The route snakes around a lot, up and to the left and then up and to the right. And it looked like she's having a little bit of trouble clipping, just pulling the rope up the clip because the route snakes around so much. And here we go, she's making the cross that Katarina Posch failed to make earlier, doing it static and completely controlled. And there's high point right there. Still cruising, doing really well. And as we mentioned, Mina is one of the contenders we think is going to top and possibly win, or at least podium at this event.
Absolutely, she's sitting there for a little moment, having a bit of a shakeout. A heel hook with the left foot and a toe hook with the right.
Her right hand is in a casual resting spot, and her left hand kind of isn't. So I think her strategy is going to try to keep moving and see if she can get a little higher.
I think you're completely right. It looked like she was going to rest there, but she looked a little bit awkward with the left hand, and she's just carried on straight away. She knows she's close now to the top.
She's got incredible lock-off power still after almost 60 moves of climbing. She's reaching the 60th hold right now and still is able to climb very controlled, very static.
Unfortunately, not so for Mina Markovic. And as we were saying, she's one of the ones that has the ability to do it, and that just goes to show what these routes are like, guys. These are definitely going to be giving us a bit of a ride as we move through the rest of this competition here.
I need to stop saying where I think they're going to get to. Every time I say they're going to do something, they fall.
All right, okay. We are, of course, pleased that Alex Johnson is with us and joining us for the co-commentary, and in no way at all preparing a gag.
The infamous jinx. Announcer girl.
You see, this is, James, announcer girl. This is Alex Johnson that we are joined with now. A very well-known US climber. But yeah, B pointing it out there as well. I'm pretty good at jinxing too. It's one of the things that I have to kind of slow down a little bit and just try not to say anything when the tentative moments come in.
One of my favorite climbers to watch coming out next for the men will be Mccoll. I'm a big fan of his climbing style. I think he's a really quick and precise climber, and he's one I was mentioning earlier who I think is going to move very quickly through the bottom section of this route to try to preserve his energy. Sean is currently the overall world champion. That happened about 2 weeks ago in Paris. He was the highest ranked in the combined bouldering lead and speed. Very loud crowd here for Sean. I'm not competing at this event because I am terrified of heights, and route climbing just scares me.
Sean is 25 from Canada, actually north of Vancouver to be exact.
Sean has been second at 5 World Cups and third at 3 World Cups. He's been on the podium so many times, and he has yet to win a World Cup. And I think it would be really cool to see Sean win a World Cup here on American soil. I mean, we're pretty close to Canada, so it's practically like Canadian soil, and everyone here is rooting for Sean in finals. Correction, he won in Kron 2011 last year. That was his first time winning. Thank you. I mean, I know Georgia isn't exactly close to Canada, but at least our countries are touching. We all speak English? I don't know. People in Atlanta love Sean, that's all I'm saying. That is true, we were both ruled by the Brits at one time.
Overall World Championships in Paris. I believe Sean has won World Cups in the past as well. He's multi-talented, climbing in bouldering and lead climbing. Sean does it all. He's competed extensively throughout the world.
We have a lot of support down on the ground for Sean. And yes, as a couple of you might have noticed, he's moving a lot quicker than we've seen some of our previous climbers move. Domen, Skofic, and also Jorg was definitely into the 3-minute boundary right now, moving on to 4 minutes by the point that Sean is now approaching. Alex called it earlier on, and here it is happening. He is a faster climber. So a question in the chat room now for you, Alex. Do you prefer climbing outside or do you prefer climbing in competitions?
That is a tough question. I think if it really came down to it, I would probably choose climbing outside over competitions. Competitions are really fun, especially in America. They're really laid back. They're kind of more like just big get-togethers for all of myself and climbing friends that are kind of spread out all over the country. And yeah, I would have to say outside.
Also a question in the chat room from JW. What happens if Sean and Jakob both top because they were tied in semis? Well, I can tell you, JW, the countback goes all the way back into the qualifications as well. So that will come into play as well for those two athletes. And having a look at the qualies, I think both of those are tied as well. So it might be countback all the way there. Yes, it is. So both of them are on 54 plus in the semi-finals. Both of them have 2 tops in the qualifications, which means that it'll then be all about time, guys. It'll be all about time here in the competition, which means that it'll come to which of the athletes did this the fastest. And it will probably, I believe, be out of the 2 of them, Sean Mccoll. But it all depends on these guys both being able to top here. Sean's taking a different bit of a method here.
I don't know that time is honestly the best way to decipher.
There's a lot of conjecture.
Who's placed ahead.
There's a lot of conjecture about that one.
Sean's still looking smooth here. I do want to give a shout out to Emily and Elizabeth Malloy listening out of Houston. This traversy part is probably 40, 45 feet off the ground.
At least, yeah, I was, that's pretty right actually. I would say probably about 40, 45 feet off the ground. It's a pretty big drop. You see, when Jorg went around this point earlier, a huge swing out as he fell down off that section there. It is really, really high.
And Sean's still looking
directly up at Sean right now. So they're not getting as good a view of it as you are right now. As he moves on to this flat section of the wall, looking a little bit shaky there. He's got to switch his feet here. Unbelievable. Not what I expected to see happen. It looked like he gave up there.
I think he misread his sequence just a little, and what all the other guys did who made it to that point was hand-foot match on the big crack hold, and Sean tried to put his foot out right, and I don't think that was the correct sequence, and I think he knows that.
He went for a pop there, but even the pop, it just seemed like he wasn't fully committed for going for it.
I'm not really sure what's going through his head right now, but our cameraman Jordan down there is trying to catch the action and the emotions.
And this is the thing, Sean is one of the more trainer-based climbers. He's obsessed with training. He does a lot of endurance training and resistance training. He's been doing a lot of that this year because he's been out in France. He moved over there a little while ago with Mathilde Mussera, and they've been moving around Europe together, going to all these kind of competitions. But even Sean, the training junkie, has been beaten by the pure length of these walls here. So guys, how are you finding the wall so far? How are you finding the competition? I hope you're enjoying being with us in the chat room here. If you are watching us on YouTube in the future, hello from the past. Because remember, you can watch all of these again on YouTube, more or less straight away after we finish up here. There you can see the results as they are standing at the moment. Katarina, Posch, and Dinara, fakritdinova, where they reached on the women's route earlier today.
From Austria. She is 19 years old, currently
We are now joined by the lovely Johanna Ernst from Austria, 19 years old.
Johanna is a personal favorite of mine to watch. She's last year's winner of the IFSC Lead World Cup that was held in Boulder at Movement Climbing Gym. One of the more powerful climbers. She qualified for finals. Right in the middle of the pack, which is a little surprising. Expecting her to come out a little bit higher up. Johanna is 19 years old and has numerous podiums, numerous first places, numerous gold medals, a world championship title. She was world championship in China a couple years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm not expecting anything.
No, let us know.
Because I don't want to jinx it.
No, it's just if you talk about what's happening as it's happening, that's when the jinx tends to come out. I often give a call of where I think people are going to place out. Like I was saying earlier, I was calling that Mina would be one of the girls that could come close to the top, and it happened. So don't worry too much. Alex, what is your opinion?
I'm not going to give my my predictions, but I'm going to say that I hope she does very well.
You hope she does very well. There you are, guys. A conjecture in the chat room for saying it or not saying it. If you ever struggle there, just fall back on my favorite thing, which is to just go, look, they're climbing. And that's
look, she's doing it.
She's doing it. So here she is on the first of our 2 traversing diagonal, straight, weird sections as they move up the wall before she hits the roof. Moving up towards the golf ball now as well. Mag, in the chat room, just for curiosity, can you do one-arm lock-offs, Alex?
It was one of my weaknesses before Vale. I spent 6 weeks training my one-arm lock-offs. Pretty much training only my one-arm lock-offs, and yes, now I can do them.
Well, there you are. There's some support in the chat room for you on that one from Maddie. Johanna still on the wall at present. And yeah, as we have already said, she's got some incredible results over the past few years.
I'm looking at her score sheet right now, and there isn't a placing below 4th. 2 fourths, 3 thirds, 3 seconds, and the rest are first. Her world ranking is currently 3rd. Last year it was 2nd, and the year before that it was 6th. And I'm not saying anything else.
Well, there you are as well in the chat room. Some good news about Shauna Coxey and her returning to climbing. And plenty of time before the bouldering World Cup circuit starts again in March for her to recover and get back into shape. In fact, I don't think Shauna actually stopped training during the time that she broke her leg. She just carried on doing different moves that didn't rely on her having to use her legs. So there you are, very committed young lady, especially when she started the year. This is still only her first year committed to the World Cup circuit. She's still very, very young, and especially when she started the year telling us that she was deciding, depending on how this year went, whether she was going to go to university or whether she was going to stick with the World Cup competitions. Well, by ending up placing 3rd, and only placing 3rd because she was unable to climb in Munich due to a broken leg that she got at Magic Woods when she was out on rock. I think that's a pretty successful first year. I think that's made her decision to not necessarily go to uni and to stick with us for a little while.
Not too shabby. I think she should move to the US.
Yeah, well, you would.
and go on a bouldering road trip with me.
You would. Oh, the bouldering road trip, that's fine. I thought you meant just move to the US in general. She's ours and you can't have her. I'm going to get
I'm pretty
progressively
sure
more
she's
British
mine.
while I defend Shauna Coxey.
Staking
Johanna Ernst
my
now
claim.
moving through the roof. So Johanna Ernst now on this roof section, moving around. The overhang here, she's got to get a toe hook round onto that arete, I think. She pumped straight for the next move instead.
She messed up her sequence just a little bit there. I think Mina Markovic did the beta correct and Katarina Posch tried to do the beta correct. You do have to cross under with the left hand there and then pop out with the right hand to that blue volume. I think she just messed up a little bit and was obviously pumped anyway, so going for it to try to get the positive movement on that I think was a really good idea.
So Johanna Ernst there with a score of 52 plus. Remember that these are all the live scores that are coming in from the judges here at the venue, and all of those results are, of course, just temporary at the moment before they are confirmed after that 20-minute appeal window that comes after we finish an event. So these are just provisional results that you're getting at the moment from our live scoring system here.
Next up for the boys here will be Jakob Schubert, and you can see on the screen there the first three guys to climb, where they place, where they fell. We are missing Domen Skofic. He fell a little bit lower than those three boys, but currently Jorg and Mario are tied for first, both with 66 plus, and this is a 70 move route for the men.
Well, we're currently looking at the world champion of lead climbing. On the world rankings, yes, he is in second at the moment. He has been as high as first in 2011. His world ranking is currently second, but he has just taken the world championships in Paris in lead climbing. This is the man to beat here in this competition. I can see Johnny's just joined us in the chat room as well. Is that Johnny Rhodes or is that Johnny Bryan? But a shout out to you, whichever one of you are. It's nice to see you joining us in the chat room. And it's nice to see so many of our regulars coming back time and time again, showing us just how big a support pool has been built over the past few years for IFSC.tv and sport climbing in general. It's great to see so much support coming in for this incredible sport as it starts really its journey towards becoming as big as it should be. So Jakob Schubert starts off on this incredibly long route now. I can tell you roughly where he is at present on the wall and how many holds we're looking at in total. Jakob is roughly at present on the 23rd hold. Actually, no, sorry, he's moving up to the 28th to 29th hold now. About to do this little swing out as he does a little pop up to that donut-shaped hold just ahead of him. There are a total altogether of 72 holds on this one. 72 holds here on the men's route. The route difficulty that we're looking at here is in 8C. So similar to semis, but just a little bit harder than we saw in semis as well. Starts easy on this one, and then moves up to a physical roof. Technical moves based around that move down over the prow, the boat-shaped structure that we saw earlier. Very technical on coming down there. I was chatting to Vincent, he was saying he thought that would be the place that we saw a lot of people coming out off the wall there. And then the top section is very resistance-based as you move towards topping out on the wall. And currently, I think the person that's closest to doing that is still Mario Lechner with 66 plus. He's still in the gold medal place position.
Yeah, Jakob seems to be taking his time a little bit more than the rest of the climbers on this route here. He's about at the time where Sean Mccoll was when Sean started to do the down traversing. Jakob's not generally a slow or fast climber. He does kind of tend to hang in the middle, but maybe he's trying to preserve some energy here because he knows this route is so long.
Okay, so Jakob on the roof now, moving over onto that prow of the boat section as well. Remember, any questions that you might have, do send them in to us and we'll be able to answer those questions for you. But while we are waiting, there's a lot of you shouting this in the chat room, so very, very briefly before we get back to the action on the wall with Jakob Schubert, let's have another Dan and Alex's fun facts. Oh, the excitement is tangible. Buckhead, one of Atlanta's most affluent neighborhoods and shopping mecca of the South, owes its unusual name to 19th century local general store owner Henry Irby. And the reason that it's called Buckhead is, Alex?
Irby killed a large deer and prominently mounted the Buckhead on the wall of his establishment.
There you are. That's why the name Buckhead for the shopping mecca of the South is called Buckhead. Henry Irby shot a deer. That's just, I can't even get behind that.
Really? Because it reminds me of my home in Wisconsin.
Ah, there you go. I've brought out some nostalgia for you. Well, let's get back over onto wall. There you are. There's a little brief fun fact there for you. It's a Dan and Alex's fun fact this time. It's so exciting, I can't contain myself. So Jakob Schubert now about to start moving down into this technical section on the wall of this prow. It's going to be interesting to see how he deals with this one, considering that this has been the point that we've seen a cut-off with our male athletes.
Jakob really is taking his time on this route. He's already at the 5-minute mark, and a lot of the climbers who got to this part, even Sean was not even at 3 minutes yet. He's doing it in the same method as Sean. It's a little bit more powerful, I think, than the way that Jorg and Mario did it, but Jakob looks good.
Oh, that was very, very shaky there then.
I bet that made him nervous.
But definitely the support from the crowd on the ground has charged him. You can see he's already getting more pumped hearing the crowd show their support as he managed to stick that move as he swung out there. I don't think he expected that to happen, but he managed to hold it.
I definitely do not think that was in his plan. He almost just lost it there.
And that just shows you the strength of some of these athletes. You are watching the world champion work his art on the wall right now.
I am really anxious to see what he does at the top of the head wall here. Currently, Mario and Jorg have the 2 high points, and both of them were a little shaky on this hold, and Jakob is trying to get something back, so I wonder if he's gonna reach the new high point.
yell, the harder the bell.
And now onto a bigger incline as Jakob Schubert shows us why he is the world champion.
Yes.
Can he push past the 66
Come on,
hole?
Jakob.
Can he reach past where Mario Lechner, his teammate, got to just a few moments ago?
Jakob Schubert of Austria.
Well, that is the 70th, I believe he's
I
moving
think
on
we're
to
pulling
now.
for a top here.
Come on, Helene, where you at? Yeah.
You cannot stop the Schubert.
Jakob Schubert, folks.
That's up there for Jakob Schubert of Austria, our world champion,
So close.
after very, very nearly coming off that wall. Sticking it, and the crowd support. I really do think that the crowd really helped him then push onto that next section of the
Yeah,
wall.
how he was able to relax himself after he just barely managed to stay on, get it back together, compose himself, and keep going. That was really impressive.
It definitely gave him the drive to carry on that wall. Once he stuck that move, he knew that he was lucky to still be on the wall, so he might as well take advantage of it. But yes, people saying it in the chat room, that is why he is the world champion. That's that's Jakob Schubert there. I'm joined by Alex Johnson. There's so many AJs,
Hola.
J names. It is Alex Johnson that's sitting next to me right now. There's Heiko, who is the head coach for Austria, saying exactly what we're all feeling down here on the ground. I really thought you were gone there, mate, but you actually managed to hang on to it. Not just hang on to it, but capitalize on it as well. What an incredible kickstart to our male final here as we wait for our next few athletes to come out. Remember, Sachi Ama, Ramon Julian and Ramon de Grange still to come out and attack this wall. 3 more athletes to come out, meaning that Jakob still might not be on the podium despite topping the wall here. If we go to count back, these guys have all got better results than Jakob Schubert, so despite topping out, he's got to hope that these next 3 guys don't top out. But that's where we are standing at the moment. Mina Markovic 59 plus, Johanna Ernst 52 plus, and Katarina Posch with a 51 plus so far on the women's route, as we are now joined by our next athlete, Han Suran of Korea. So we start on our next climber for Korea, Han Suran of Korea, 20-year-old athlete, lives in Suwon City. She's world ranked 14th at the moment, but on the World Cup rankings for 2012, she's up to 11th. And this makes her first final this year, another one with the 9th place curse, like Dinara fakritdinova of Russia. She came 9th in Barcelona in 2011 and 9th in Chamonix this year as well, so just missed out on a place in the finals there. And then after that, a 15th place position in Briançon and an 11th place position in Imst. So not making it through into the finals. So, but here she is, Han Suran, in the finals over here in Atlanta. Let's hope that she can really push the boundaries here as she moves up onto the wall. Well, I see we have Ian Dunn joining us in the chat room as well. It's nice to see Ian with us, one of the British youth coaches, I think head coach for the British youth athletes. And yes, making an interesting point about Han Suran's results on the youth circuits as well, and also the Asian Championship. She was second at the Asian Championship in Chuncheon in Korea in 2009 on her home turf. In the women's bouldering Asian Championship in Chuncheon as well there, she took 6th. So she made it to the final in not only the lead, but also in the bouldering in Chuncheon. And then looking at some of her other results as well, a very good rep that she has there. She's now moving into the seniors, so let's see what happens when she's up against these guys.
It seems as though the women's route is not going to separate the field quite as, I guess, drastically as the men. The men have kind of been more spread out when they've been falling, and the women have all kind of fallen in pretty much the same spot, right up to the cross on the undercling in the roof section there. Hopefully the route setters aren't sweating downstairs.
So 3 minutes 12 currently on the clock of a total of 8 minutes. She's already approaching the halfway point on the wall before she has to do a little bit of a turnaround and go up on an opposite diagonal slope to that roof. And yes, you can see the kinesio tape on her knee there. She's got some strapping going on. But let's get some cries in the chat room now. For some support for this young Korean athlete, only 20 years old, on the same team as Kim Jain, a name that we know very well, a name that is also here in the final, so we'll be seeing her out on the wall in a few moments' time.
It's got to be pretty inspiring to be on the same team as Kim Jain, such a very strong veteran competitor, and I wonder if she does any like mentoring with the younger climbers who are maybe aren't quite as experienced.
There you can see the angle from the ground as well. She starts to move up past the second go fall, but no! Unbelievably, Suran has come off there. We did see Mina Markovic earlier have to reshuffle her hands before she reached up to that second goal fall. And maybe Han just hadn't got the reach there to secure that.
It did maybe look like almost a foot slip there. It didn't look like she pumped out. She didn't go for any positive movement to any holds past that point. I think it might have been a foot slip.
And now you are looking at Suran on the ground, looking up at the wall, trying to analyze what exactly went wrong there. Before we get ready to bring out our next male athlete, a man that could start to put a little bit of sweat on Jakob Schubert right now, and that is Sachi for Japan. He'll be out in just a few months' time. So the women's results still standing as they are at the moment. Mina Markovic in the gold medal slot with a 59 plus, Johanna Ernst in the silver medal position with 52 plus, and Katarina Posch in the bronze medal position with 51 plus on the wall here at the moment. No doubt Katarina is looking a little bit shaky right now herself. She waits to see the next few female athletes come out. We still have Kim Jain to climb. And also Maya Vidmar. And also the only athlete to manage to top out in the semi-finals, Helene Janicot. Still yet to come out onto the wall, so no doubt she's feeling a little bit shaky. And here is the men's. You can see how sporadic that route is there for a short while. As they move down onto the prow. Jakob Schubert with the top holding onto the gold medal position. Lechner still up there though as well. And here comes Sachi to try and throw a spanner in the works.
Sachi Ama, climbing from Japan, 23 years old. I said earlier that Jain Kim was a veteran in competing, and I know that 23 sounds really young to be considered a veteran, but these climbers have been competing for a very long time, whether it's in the youth circuit or in the adult circuit as soon as they turn 16, and Sachi Ama is one of them. Has been around for a very long time. All of his top results, first, third, second, fourth. A very good competitor. Current world ranking is first, and he is putting the pressure on world champion Jakob Schubert right now. The route that these guys are climbing on is rated 8C. It's got a bit of an easier start leading up to a no-footed crux, and then a very physical roof section and a technical slabby kind of downward climbing traverse before a very insecure hand-foot match up on the slabby head wall up there. And we've seen a couple guys fall up on the slabby head wall and a couple guys fall even a little before that in the traversing section. And we did watch Jakob Schubert's amazing foot cut performance as he barely held on there and then managed to finish the route.
So, Sachi Ama now moving up to the roof. He's going to have to start going around to the left-hand side here now, getting his way around these little features. Had a little bit of a tangle with his foot there, clipping in before moving on past these features, round to the left-hand side, over the roof, and then down onto the prow of the boat in a few moments' time. Sachi Ama, one of the lighter athletes. Remember, we had the interesting injury in Briançon for Sachi. Remember, he also actually won that competition, but Sachi in the qualifications was on the penultimate hold of the first route of the day, actually slipped as he went for the final top out, split his chin open on the wall and was taken to hospital. It was a really deep split as well. There was quite a bit of blood there. Went to hospital for 20 minutes, came back, climbed the second route and topped it, went on to win the tournament.
That's pretty impressive.
That is also why he's world ranked #1. Sachi Ama.
Those of you out there wondering if there is going to be a super final, if Sachi and Jakob and Ramon tie, if they all top the route. I don't think there will be a super final. I think they're going to go, you can't go back to countbacks because they have been tied all the way through the competition. They'll probably break it down by time. It's probably going to be who tops the route the fastest. And as of right now, Sachi's moving much faster than Jakob. He is a faster climber. He's very light. He's very strong on the small holds. And this technical part, I don't think is going to be too much of a problem here for him.
Interesting point there in the chat room from Matty saying, I think the climbers in ISO will definitely understand from the public that Jakob had topped. So they've now got the extra stress moving through their heads. They're sitting in ISO, knowing that that's also another thing that happens in bouldering as well. They can hear that. They can definitely hear it here in ISO. ISO isn't that far away from the crowd. He's got a toe hook here now, and I would imagine that every other climber knows that Jakob has topped, especially because it's alternate. And this is a different thing. Like usually we have the women's going on at the same time as the men's. But here, not so. We've got the alternate. So they know exactly who is on the wall and exactly how they're getting on by the reactions from the crowds. It's obviously going to be a lot of pressure on them then when they're sitting in the ISO listening to that.
Sachi's still looking very smooth here. And this is a part of the route that's given a lot of other climbers a lot of trouble. And he seems to be cruising right through it. And I'm not saying anything else because I don't want to jinx him.
Actually calling for the time down to the ground there. He asked the time and everybody's shouting up at him, the entire crowd shouting, still got 3 minutes left, and then that just being drowned out by general screams of encouragement.
think he's feeling good. I think he knows what he's going to do here, and I'm not going to say it. We're just going to wait and see it happen.
A lot of people showing some support now. Come on, Sachi, you've got to hold on. No! You can see him start to shake there. His right hand started to shake, but he moved too quickly, I think. He tried to get onto that next hold without securing his right hand first. What a shame there, but that means that Sachi is now sitting in second place. And Jakob Schubert breathes a sigh of relief, because that means that no matter what happens here now today, Jakob Schubert is on our podium here.
Guaranteed podium.
Guaranteed podium position.
I don't know that Sachi was really quite as tired as maybe some of the other climbers who had gotten up to that point. He definitely looked really calm still. I think his hand might have just slipped. Maybe just popped off of that hold. He didn't look like he pumped out. It didn't look like his foot slipped. It looked like his hand actually popped off from where I'm sitting. He definitely looked strong, so it wasn't a matter of being too pumped or sequence being too hard. I think he did actually just slip. Up next for the women here, we have Vidmar from Slovenia, currently ranked third, right after Jain Kim and Helene and Janicot. Maya's 26 years old. Her world ranking is 9th. She's been competing for a very long time, battling a finger injury since 2007. Her last few results were 5th place at the World Cup in Barcelona, 5th place in Kron, 6th place in Valence, 2nd in Jordan, so consistently in finals all season. Requests for the difficulty route of the women, it's 8B+. Each move, I've been told by the route setters, is progressively harder than the last. The route continuously gets difficult. You'll see a big golf ball shaped volume about a third of the way up the route. As soon as you hit that, every move gets a little harder. The higher you go, the worse the holds get, the harder the moves get. And we have seen a couple girls fall in a very similar spot right about at the end of the roof. We have been told that pulling out over this roof section into the head wall is going to be the crux for these women. And so far, Maya's teammate, Mina Markovic, has been the only one to actually breach the roof, come out on a little bit less overhanging part of the wall there, and she's definitely sitting in first place, a couple of holds higher than the rest of the girls.
Lots and lots of support pouring in for Alex Johnson now in the commentating seat. Question as well now, did you attend college or just professionally climb?
I dabbled in college for a little bit. I went to university for 2 years and actually quit climbing while I was going to college to run track and field. And then quit track and field to go back to climbing.
And we're glad that we did it as well, because we've had you here now. As we watch Maya Vidmar from Slovenia start to push up onto the first of our 2 diagonal straights. It's nice to see Alpine Club of Canada joining us again back in the chat room, saying there are some definite Alex Johnson super fans out there. Alex is dancing, so that must mean something good. I'm not sure. I think she's trying to climb mine. Sasha showing some support there for Maya Vidmar. As we were talking about earlier, she's had a finger injury in 2007 on the middle finger of her right hand. That was in 2007, after 7 consecutive gold medals on the World Cup circuit. And then again, she's had a very similar injury on the middle finger of her left hand recently. So same point on the hand, on the tendons in her middle finger on her left hand has pulled her out of the World Championships recently. So she's had a very similar injury again, and she's now back with us here in the World Cups in Atlanta.
I've had a request for a fun fact.
Oh, we'll come back to them in a minute. At the moment, I want to see Maya now pushing ahead, or is it going to be a problem for her as well? Hans Suran came off on this exact same point. Is it going to happen to Maya? She's just readjusting. We'll get back to fun facts, don't worry, there's plenty more of them. But there is only one Maya Vidmar.
She has surpassed the 5-minute mark with, I would say, about half of the route to go. So she does have less than 3 minutes to kind of pick up the pace here if she doesn't want to time out.
So she's trying a different method now. Getting a little bit more leeway on that reach around to the left-hand side of the golf ball. 2 hands on it now. Shaking out the hands before she starts to push into this roof. Now, this is where it's going to really start to get interesting.
Maya's a very static and slowed and controlled climber. I think that's why she might have had a little bit more trouble with that move up to the second golf ball there. I think it was supposed to be a bit of a pop, and the other girls kind of powered through it, and she's more of a slow, lock-off, technical kind of climber. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm just not going to jinx them anymore.
Question asking, is this the high point on the wall? It's not actually at the moment, no. The high point is well past the roof. So she's on 6 minutes 40 something now. She's really going to start to feel this in her hands. She does need to start moving a little bit quicker here to move up towards the top. She's running out of time.
She's got almost a minute left. And she's not quite at the high point of the rest of the girls. Still looking very controlled here. She doesn't look too pumped, but she's only got like 50 seconds left. This section of the route, in my opinion, looks like probably the most powerful part of the route. I was told by the route setters that all of the holds on the roof are pretty in-cut, so it's not tricky climbing. It's kind of just power endurance here. And Maya following suit in the footsteps of her teammate, Mina Markovic, trying to breach this head wall. With about 10 seconds to go, she really needs to move it up here.
I think, unfortunately, Maya is actually about to be called down from the wall. 2 seconds. And that is time. Unfortunately, what a shame to see an athlete pulled off the wall when they're looking in good shape, in good position, wanting and willing to carry on, to keep moving forward. Such a shame to see that happen. It happened exactly the same to Jakob Schubert at the Briançon finals earlier this year. We're seeing it again here with Maya Vidmar. What do we think about that rolling lead climbing? Do you think we should let the athletes run until they actually come off the wall or top out, and then the time would be just the same? It would still be, if instead of going to count back, we had to go to time, it would still be the athlete that climbed it quickest, but they were able to actually top out.
I'm gonna tread cautiously with this answer, only because I do know a lot of climbers, American and European, are very slow, and if they find a spot where they think they can rest long enough to get power and juice back, they're gonna stay there for as long as they can. And without that time limit, that could end up being a really long time. I do know Angela Eider, very slow, very strong climber, but the time limit I think was probably designed for her.
What about a different time limit depending on different routes? For example, this is a longer route than we're normally expecting. So what about the route setters maybe attempting the route, seeing how long, and maybe giving their own times that they believe that the route should be done in?
I feel like leaving it up to the discretion of the route setters would kind of cause for a lot of chaos and confusion, because at what length of the route do you set that time limit for? And if the route setters or if the forerunners are really fast climbers or really slow climbers, they could end up having too little time or too much time.
Yeah,
this is a tough question.
This is all controversial. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate on this one. But I know a lot of people, there's a lot of interesting different decisions and opinions on the time limits. So it's always something worth talking about, I think. As we are joined by another athlete that does actually like to take his time. It is Ramon Julian of Spain, as he makes his attempt on the wall here. And cries of Benga already starting to come pouring in from Sasha again. I know that Sasha's a fan of Spain and climbing over there. So let's talk about Ramon Julian, the oldest climber in this final, 30 years old, and he's also, I believe, the shortest climber in this final. As Sasha in the chat room was just saying, he's the same height as me, he's only 5'2". World ranked third at the end of 2011. He was second though. He's currently on the World Cup ranking for this year, still second, and he has been as high as first in 2010. So we are looking at a previous World Cup title holder, Ramon Julian Poblanc.
Someone mentioned in the chat that it looks like he has a stopwatch on his harness, and I can see that from here. And a lot of the more experienced climbers, Angela Eider included, whom I just mentioned, takes a lot of time. They do. They wear a watch, and as soon as they turn around, or as soon as the timer or the judge says their time starts, they start the timer on their watch, or in Ramon's case, he started it on his harness. And it's a really good way of keeping track of, you know, setting your pace for the climb and kind of knowing when you have to pick it up. Whereas in Maya's case, she didn't really know that she was running out of time. And probably could have gone a little bit farther had she known that she only had like 10 seconds left. This route for the men is rated 8C. There is a no-foot crux. It's a very physical route, a little bit of down climbing. It's 72 moves long, and the routes here, these walls are 60 feet tall, and that doesn't account for the snaking of the routes, the winding, the up and down. And 8C is very hard for a competition route, but those of you watching who know Ramon Julian know he can climb this hard. He's a very strong, very controlled climber. When he was in the United States for the Lead World Cup last year in Boulder, he went to Rifle for a couple days and completely cleaned up Rifle Colorado, climbing multiple 13s. And if anyone else is capable of topping this route today, aside from Jakob, it's definitely Ramon Julian.
A lot of people earlier today saying that this sort of style of route would suit Ramon. Well, let's see whether that comes into play as he starts to move down now onto the prow before having to come up, traversing left to the lip-shaped feature on the wall and push up onto the higher section of the walls. And as Alex has just said, if anybody has a chance of doing it here, it would be Ramon. We've seen one top already today by Jakob Schubert. But if Ramon manages to do it, as he actually has a better result from the semis earlier today, Ramon would knock Jakob out of that top spot.
He's looking very casual right now. We did see a lot of climbers before him start to get a little shaky and a little pumped here. He has endurance for days, and he is unbelievably strong. So the fact that he's kind of resting on this hold here right before the technical traversing part isn't surprising at all. He's trying to preserve all the energy he can for the rest of the route. He still has 20 feet to go.
It is an extremely long route, 72 holds altogether, an 8C difficulty grading for the route, over roughly 75 feet of surface on a 60-foot wall.
It doesn't look like he's having much trouble with some of the longer moves in this route. He is the shortest competitor here, and he seems to be doing fine with a lot of the bigger moves.
We have our resident DJ, AJ, here up with us at the top of the deck. I will mention him now, due to the fact that Alex bust into some dance moves yet again. You're definitely feeling the funk today, aren't you? Ramon now moving up past that lip-shaped hold.
He is reaching the 6-minute mark. He has 2 minutes to go. I think that's going to be plenty of time if he wants to go to the top. He also doesn't want to rush it. He looks very controlled here still. And as a prior world champion, he knows what he needs to do.
Still plenty of time here, and Ramon looks very controlled at the moment. As Scott has just said in the chat room, he's looking very casual. Well, let's hope not too casual as he starts to move into these. They're kind of almost like a crimp pinch.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
They're just really small crimp pinches. This is the part where Sachi popped off. And so far he just passed Sachi.
One more move.
It doesn't count as a top until you clip the last draw. So right now he would still be behind Jakob Schubert. It's not until that last draw is clipped that he gets a top. And
he's shaking here, but there it is. Ramon, Julian Puglange knocking Jakob Schubert off the gold medal position here. Kudos, Ramon. Coming towards the end now, guys, only 2 more female athletes to come out, and only Ramon de Grange for the men to come out as well. So Jakob Schubert has secured himself a podium position. Is it going to be silver? Is it going to be bronze? Ramon de Grange is the man to show us the answer to that question in a few moments' time. But before that, we go over to Kim Jain of Korea, moves up.
For the women's route, I was talking with route setter Chris Danielson earlier. He kind of walked me through it. It starts out maybe a little mellower than I think a lot of other finals routes at World Cups usually start, because these routes are so long. They want the athletes to kind of get pretty high up on them. It's more crowd pleasing, and you feel more accomplished when you get higher on the route. So the bottom starts out a little easier, and it sort of gradually gets harder and harder and harder, and we go winding all over the place and get up to this roof section here that's kind of been giving the girls a lot of trouble, especially coming out of the roof section, where you have to cross through to an undercling and kind of fire out right to this volume. And so far the 2 Slovenians, Mina Markovic and Maya Vidmar, have been the only 2 women to sort of surpass this roof section. But a very strong contender for not only a podium but a gold medal here is Jain Kim from Korea. Extremely strong, very strong hands, very controlled. She can be dynamic and static when she needs to be. Tons of endurance, a very smart, extremely technical climber. She's very precise with her feet. I think she's gonna do pretty well.
Yeah, Kim is definitely my favorite climber to watch. I enjoy watching Kim Jain climb because it's just such a natural progression across a wall. It doesn't matter how hard the route is. It is very rare that we see her shake. If she comes off the wall, it's because she's just come off the wall. And until then, you're kind of, it's like watching water move.
Yeah, she's so unbelievably composed all the time. With a lot of the other competitors, you can tell when they start to get tired. You can tell when they start to get pumped. Their arms kind of start to chicken wing out. Their legs shake a little bit. And I don't know that I've ever seen Jain Kim do that. She is so composed all the time, and definitely a favorite of not only myself but many other World Cup competitors to watch in the bouldering and in the lead.
Well, there is that huge ape that you can see. So despite the fact that she is one of the smaller climbers, that swing up there to secure that hold was just effortless. It just looks so smooth all the time whenever you see this athlete climb. She was the overall world champion this year from the combined event over in Paris.
She's also an incredibly flexible climber. That's something you don't see a lot of, especially in the US, is a lot of stretching. Multiple times I've been in ISO with her, she spends a good 40 minutes really stretching out her legs, her arms, and so flexible, because you never know when you're going to find yourself sort of in like a tight, kind of cramped position, especially in these more technical lead routes. Jain Kim is 24 years old. Her world ranking is currently 1st. Last year, 4th in the lead, the year before 2nd, and the year before that 1st. So she's been competing for a very long time. As I mentioned, she does both bouldering and lead, and is very accomplished in both disciplines, having won multiple of each event. first in pours, 5th at the World Championships in Paris. For bouldering, 2nd at the World Championships in Paris for lead, 2nd lead in Chamonix, 3rd, and every event before that in 2011, Barcelona, Cron, Pours, Chamonix, first, all lead. Very accomplished, very well-rounded, incredibly smart climber. Had a question asking how difficult it is to hold the golf ball shaped volumes. I actually have no idea. I think they're pretty foreign to American route setting. I've never seen them before. I'm not sure who makes them, but obviously not that hard to hold on to for Jain Kim here as she cruises past this part. And this is sort of where the route is going to start getting much more difficult. We take a bit of a turn here, 180 onto the next head wall. And this is where I was told the route gets significantly more difficult. Each move is progressively a little bit harder than the one before. And Jain Kim is one of our shorter girl competitors, but her flexibility and her ability to be powerful and dynamic and kind of poppy definitely help her out on the shortness factor. As I said before, her flexibility really comes into play here. That was a really long move for some of the other competitors who even are a little taller than her. And moving her heel up to the left like that helped her sort of rock her weight over to grab that next golf ball hold.
At Bob, I 100% remember the Gangnam Style in in Singapore on the beach. I don't know whether it would go down quite as well here as it did in the World Youth Comps. If anybody wants to catch up on any of the action you might have missed this year, get yourself over onto IFSC's YouTube channel and have a look on there at where we were and what we were doing. And also, yes, me and Mike did singing in the rain in Singapore. I also did a bit of commentary from the middle of the sea with Sean Mccoll, just to show you how wet it got there. But right now we should be focusing and all eyes on Kim Jain as she moves onto the roof, the section where it gets really, really interesting here. Hi to Commander in the chat room as well. I believe that is the organizer for the World Youth Champs next year. Nice to see you. And Kim getting a lot of support now from the ground as she traverses this roof section here.
Still looking pretty casual. I said before, there seems to be a lot of rope drag on this route. It does kind of curve and wind a lot. And it just seems like it might be a little difficult for them to kind of pull up rope to clip. And that might make their arms a little more tired.
She still has a little bit of time as well. She's got about 1.5 minutes left on the clock. And she stuck that move.
Powerfully.
So this is it, moving on to some very crimp-based holds now on these volumes, the piggyback holds that she's on here.
She's so flexible and she's so good with her toes.
The crowd are loving it. I wonder whether she knows that she's moving into the lead right now.
And she has less than a minute left to go for a top here. Starting to look a little pumped. That is almost the exact same place that Mina Markovic got.
I think it was.
Where that's going to put her. Obviously, if they do go to countbacks, Jain will be ahead of Mina, but a very close final round here. And we still have Helene Janicot left to climb for the ladies.
Yes, we still have Helene yet to come out. And we go back over to the men now for our last male athlete, Ramon de Grange, as he comes out to see us on the wall here. Welcome if you are joining us. We are here in Atlanta at Stone Summit, the nation's largest climbing gym. And if you are joining us, we're here at the final for the World Cup, the Lead World Cup over here in America. Thank you for joining us. My name is Daniel Finn, and I am joined by the great Alex Johnson in the on a little eyrie, a little bird's nest at the top, just next to the wall here as well.
Jain is definitely one of my favorites to watch. She's always so respectful, no matter how she does bows at the end of her climb. She's a fellow North Face athlete, so it's really cool to see the respect coming from such a badass climber.
So we wait for our next athlete to come out. That'll be Ramon de Grange, the man who reached the highest point in the semi-finals. Remember, we've also still got Helene Janicot still to come as well, the highest climber from the women's in the semi-finals. She was the only female athlete to top out in that semi-final. And there is, as it stands at the moment, Sachi can only be threatened now by Ramon de Grange. He has a score of 70 plus. There are only 72 holds on the wall, remember guys. There are only 72 holds on this 60-foot high wall. And Sachi there in taking the 70th hold, moving on to the 71st. So Ramon really has to pull something out of the bag here to get himself onto that podium. If he manages to top, he knocks Ramon Julian Blanc off the top place and takes gold here though. Can this man top out?
That would be a very impressive upset here with past world champion Ramon Julian, current world champion Jakob Schubert, both topping the route in effortless style almost. So Ramon has his work cut out for him, I think.
Well, he's just starting off on the wall here now, but remember the other thing to bear in mind is that this gets progressively difficult the higher you go. It seems to be a bit of a tendency of Vincent and the route setting team. You were talking to Chris Danielson as well, and he was saying that the routes start off relatively easy, they're relatively nice to climb, and then just get harder and harder and harder until you hit the top. The men's route definitely has that, because we were talking about those kind of crimp pinch holds right before the final moves that has been cutting off some of the guys as well.
You can sort of notice that the holds are obviously bigger as you work your way up this climb. They do get smaller and smaller, and the last 10 feet of climbing, the holds are small, like one pad or half pad crimps. And it was the intention of the route setters to kind of have a not easy, but maybe a little more mellow sort of intro to the route to get them up high, to get them going the distance. And it's much more spectator friendly, and I'm sure that the climbers feel a lot better about their performance when they've climbed 60 plus feet and fallen, as opposed to like maybe 40 feet.
So Ramon de Grange now, the 29-year-old athlete, so very close to the oldest of our competitors in the final. Born in 1982 in Santi Colombe, world ranked 5th. World Cup ranking this year so far is 4th, so he definitely has it in him to be able to get to the top of this wall and knock off Ramon Julian Blanc, actually the oldest climber in the final. And to take that gold medal away from him here, let's give him all the possible support that we can. In the chat room now for this, our last male climber. What do we think of the alternate way of showing the climbers? It makes a longer final, but you get to see much more of the athletes. We don't have any of the split screening going on. You get to see one climber going through at a time. What do you feel of that one, guys? Do you like the alternate idea? A question from AZ Inferno 10 to Alex, saying, if he tops, does he win?
Yes.
Thank you, Alex. Yes, he will win if he tops because he has the highest position ranking from the semi-finals earlier today. Remember as well, these guys have already climbed once today on a route of very similar difficulty in the semi-finals. Oh no, guys, you're gonna have to wait for a fun fact. There's climbing going on. Well said, Scott. Ramon de Grange now moving down onto the bow of this ship section now. It just reminds me of the prow of a boat. I can't really describe it in any other way. It's a really bizarre shape. It just sort of juts out. Really interesting walls here at the gym, Stone Summit in Atlanta. If you're over in the US and you fancy a climbing rampage, get yourself down to Stone Summit at some point during that one and just come and have a look at these walls. They're really, really interesting. The dimensions here are just insane.
I can imagine if I were a route climber, this would be a really ideal gym to train in.
To come and train at, you mean?
Yeah, for sure. We did have youth nationals here earlier in July. And I do know that Keenan of USA Climbing said that if he never had to move youth nationals again, if he could have it at this gym every single year, he would be happy for the rest of his life.
So yes, Ramon moving down before having to traverse. He's pausing here for a little bit actually. Very quickly moving on that traverse section before now starting to come up again to this lip shape volume. And I believe we've seen some of our athletes actually missing that hold around the left-hand side. Not all of them have gone around the side of the wall to grab that hold before moving on to that lip shape feature that he's now got both hands on, Ramon de Grange. But he's using it well here, so he's reading the route really well. But he is taking his time, and that is going to be against him at the moment.
He does still have a little over 2 minutes left. He seems very controlled. He is one of the older competitors, definitely a veteran. Sequencing this section here that's given many of the men before him a little bit of trouble.
Spending a lot of time pausing here. It's really going to have to get a move on now. It would be such a shame to see him time out here when he has all the chance of taking the gold medal. It's there, it's in his grasp. He just has to keep moving.
It's so painful to sit here and watch knowing that they don't know that the clock is just ticking down. He's got 30 seconds to get to the top of the route, and he kind of needs to kick it into high gear here, or he's gonna lose it to Ramon and Jakob. And even Sachi, this might kick him off the podium if he doesn't sort of pick up the pace a little bit.
Well, the crowd are pushing him now, and he's starting to move faster. I think he knows. Can he do this? Is this going to be a gold medal? Can he stick it?
Pumped. 7,
Ramon de Grange
6.
crossing over. Oh, unbelievable. That was so tense. So tense there as he moved towards that last section on the wall. What a shame, but that means now I do believe that he was on the 70th hold, I think.
He tied with Sachi.
But if he's tied with Sachi,
back, he will be third.
He will be third because he has the count back from the semi-finals. But what a shame to see him so close to being able to take the gold. Well guys, just one more athlete left to come. Welcome if you are joining us here. My name is Daniel Finn. I am joined by Alex Johnson in the chat room with me in this little eagle's nest that we have to commentate with me through the final here. We have one more athlete left to come. It is Helene Janicot, who is about to come out. The only athlete to top out in the semi-finals. Can she do the same thing here?
After the impressive performance that Jain Kim just gave, I believe putting her in first place and bumping Mina Markovic down to second place, she can come out and win it if she tops the route or if she gets to hold 71. Jain only got to hold 60. There are 62 moves on the women's route. Jain Kim has the high point at 60. Helene can do 2 more moves, top the route and come out in first and knock Jain and Mina Markovic down. Helene is also a young climber. She's only 18 years old, born in 1993. She's as old as my baby brother, which to me is very young. World ranking is 8. Last couple results in the IFSC World Cups have been 5th in course. She was 7th in the World Championships in Paris. 6th at the World Cup in Imps. 1st in Briançon, 4th in Chamonix. 1st at the European Youth Cup, so a very seasoned young competitor. Lots of very high places, gold medals in the youth events. And she hasn't done bad in the adult events either. She's currently ranked 1st. Coming into finals here, she's the last competitor. There are no more competitors in ISO, men or women. So all eyes are on her. All expectations are on her. And we're gonna see how she goes here.
So there is the clock for you with Helene as she starts to make her climb here. She's moving relatively quickly though. 1 minute 30 and she's already a good 20 feet off the ground.
I remember her at the World Championships in Arco last year, kind of being known as a, I guess, to other competitors around the world, maybe not the French team, but sort of an up-and-comer in the adult comps. I think she made finals last year in Arco. It doesn't say on my sheet here, but yeah, definitely a dark horse up-and-comer last year, and it's cool to see her here in finals and doing so well in the lead World Cups this season as a young 18-year-old.
I see a lot of you thinking about what age you are going to be when we hit 2020 and possibly for the Olympics. I don't think I even want to think about the age that I'm going to be in 2020 right now, so let's concentrate on the climbing on the wall, guys. Helene Janicot of France, the only female athlete to top out in the semi-finals. We have had no tops so far for the women's in the finals. Can she repeat what she did in the semi-finals and do it again here now? I'm loving the DJ now. playing Tonight We Are Young as Helene Janicot, the 18-year-old from France, tries to prove she has exactly what it takes to become a World Cup title holder. Can she climb away onto that podium? She's now moving on to the second diagonal straight now.
Coming up to another one of the cruxes on the route, sort of maneuvering your way up to that second golf ball. It's been a pretty powerful move for a lot of the climbers. We did see the shortest competitor, Jain Kim, sort of static that move pretty easily with her flexibility. Vidmar had a bit of trouble with that move, kind of going up and down and up and down. And Helene Janicot has no trouble with that here. She's resting on it.
Cries of LA coming in the chat room. Make your support known, guys. We'll even point the screen towards her if you want. You can start shouting your support, and we'll hope that it goes through the waves in the air and reaches her on the wall. How about that? Let's get some support right now for Helene Janicot.
She still looks smooth. She's relaxing, resting here before the roof section. I think they know in the preview, they can tell when they're previewing that this roof section is going to give them trouble. You're pumped by the time you're up there. It's horizontal, it's drained a lot of energy, and you kind of have to have your technique together and your head in the game to sort of maneuver your way through this part.
Well, this is the roof section, and I bet I would put money right now on Sheila sitting at home in France, crossing anything she can right now. She needs to secure this clip before she moves on.
Having a lot of trouble with that clip.
And this is going to waste some energy for her here.
For sure.
She's got to get that clip in. Come on, Helene. Come on, hold on. Oh, unbelievable. She got into trouble with that clip there. It looked like she couldn't quite get the rope to come up enough to clip in. Wasted a lot of energy, tried to switch her position round, swung out, and just didn't have enough to hold on there. So unfortunately, we bid goodbye to Helene Janicot, which means I think that Kim Jain now takes the gold medal position.
I do believe so.
Mina Markovic takes the silver.
Arizona. We got a Teal Hyundai Elantra B 9785. Great Toyota Camry LE. Amada XLB. PCA 3128.
So guys, that's kind of wrapping things up here for us. I'm going to get down onto the ground in a few moments' time. I'm even going to drag Alex Johnson down there with me as well, so we can go and find some interviews from those athletes on the ground. Let's have a brief look though, while we are waiting, before we get on the ground, at how our results are standing roughly at the moment. A very emotional Helene on the floor there, but this is how they're standing as at the moment. Ramon, Julian taking the gold medal here, followed by Jakob Schubert taking the silver, our world champion, and then Ramon de Grange taking the bronze medal here as well. So those are the men's results so far as they stand at the moment. What a surprise to see Sean Mccoll so far down on that list in 7th place. I'm going to hand over to Alex to talk through the women's results for you just now.
So for the women, taking first, securing her gold medal position from Korea, Jain Kim. Second place from Slovenia, we have Mina Markovic. And third, her teammate, Maya Vidmar. Those three girls were the only girls who managed to sort of climb over the roof, out of the roof and over to the head wall there. Fourth place, just missing the podium, Johanna Ernst of Austria. Fifth place, Katarina Posch. Sixth place, a bit of a devastating fall from first, Helene Janicot of France. Seventh place, Dinara, fakritdinova. And in eighth place, from Korea, Suran. So there we have the women's results for you guys. I think we're gonna head downstairs.
That's exactly what I've come to get you for. We're gonna go downstairs, we're gonna go and try and find some of these guys and have a chat with them on how they're feeling right now. So guys, we'll see you in a few seconds time down on the ground.
Testing.
Well, the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind. He was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. You probably didn't even know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll just make a bet with you. Now, you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but let's give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul. I think I'm better than you." Boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'm gonna take your bet. You're gonna regret I'm the best as ever been. Johnny, rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard. Cause you're loose in Georgia and the devil deals cards. If you win, you'll get the shiny fiddle made of gold."
Hey guys, we're downstairs on the floor with Jakob Schubert, coming off of his World Championship win. Congratulations. How do you feel about the way that this comp went?
Yeah, it was amazing. Cool crowd, cool route. In the end, I'm a little disappointed because I topped the route, but not first in the end, so second place. If you top the final route, you want to be first, of course. But yeah, I'm happy with my effort, and next comp, next chance, you know? Yeah,
you couldn't have climbed any better. It just went back to countbacks. What did you think of the walls and this gym?
This gym is just, like, it's so huge, and it's amazing and incredible. I really want to train here, actually, but it's a little too far from Austria, so, I mean, you have, like, roofs, you have slabs, you have everything down here, and it's so huge, yeah, amazing.
I'm pretty sure that the World Cup will be coming back here every year. Yeah. Did you get to tour Atlanta at all? Did you get to see the city?
Yeah, I mean, we've been here 2 days before already, so we saw a little of the city and everything, and yeah, I really enjoyed that trip.
Cool. Nice job. Congratulations. You did well. It's good to see you. Let's find some more athletes.
Okay, so I'm going to take this one off you now as I bring in Mina Markovic. This is the advantage of having two commentators. You can go hunt while I'll talk to Mina now. Mina, congratulations for one on making it through on this point and doing such a fantastic climb earlier. How was the wall for you?
Yeah, on observation it looks quite tricky. It was obvious at the beginning it's easier, but upper part on observation I couldn't really read well, and this was making really a lot of doubts in my head. So yeah, I admit that it was hard for me to go out to climb because I didn't have exactly plan like I usually have, but when I was up there, things seems logical, so it was good to climb.
Well, we thought a lot more of you were going to hit problems on the roof than you actually did. A lot of you, if you got to the roof section, seemed to move past it, the more bouldery-like moves, and you moved round onto the side. You were so close to topping out. What was it at the top there that actually stumped you? What was it that stopped you from getting to the very, very top?
Actually, because the route is really long, I knew that I don't need to spend time, that I have to climb fast, so maybe I was on some parts going a little too fast and didn't take enough rest. So maybe in the upper part on the volumes, if I took some more rest, it could be better. But actually up there, it comes quite hard move also. But I think maybe with some more rest, and if I would know that I had plenty of time, it could be easier. But I think I did my best.
Do you prefer the longer routes? I mean, we're looking at a 60-foot wall. You got about 75 feet worth of climbing distance. Do you prefer them longer like that, or would you rather they were just harder and more compact?
Different. I think if some routes are like this, it's really good, but like if all competition would be like this, I wouldn't like. So I really like that there are mixed competitions. Some, like we have longer routes, and then we have, I don't know, 40 moves, and the route is more intensive, so that the things are a little switching during the year.
So it's the variety for you. It's nice to have so much variety in different types of setting.
Yeah.
I've got to congratulate you as well on the whole thing with the thumb not obviously being an issue at all anymore for you. What a quick recovery, because you just took second place here over in Atlanta. So congratulations for that, Mina. It's all thumbs up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mina Markovic here, and I'll see you shortly. I'm going to pass back over to Alex now for a couple of seconds with, I think, our next interview. Alex, are you ready? Do we have someone? Are we ready for Johanna? Yeah, come over. I'm going to pass over to Alex. Alex, you can, because she doesn't want to talk. She gets bored of talking.
You get nervous because he's so good looking, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here with Johanna, Ernst. Yeah. You got fourth today. Are you psyched?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Psyched to be back in the US?
Uh-huh.
What did you think of the gym?
Huge and long, big, I don't know.
Did you get pumped?
Uh-huh, for sure.
Have you been training a lot? Are you back like into training now that your foot's healed from your injury a couple years ago?
Yeah, I did train, like not a lot, but I did.
Where do you live now?
In Austria.
Yeah, what town?
Yeah, in Styria. It's like close to Slovenia.
Okay, cool. Are you going to school?
Yeah.
Did you miss school to come to this event?
I'm happy to be here.
Nice, that's awesome. Are you going to stick around Atlanta for a little while and hang out and miss some more school?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. We should hang out tonight. What hotel are you staying at?
It's a motel, Super 8.
Well, that's not where I'm staying, so I'll call you. Thanks for talking. I believe Dan went to find some more athletes. We're going to have Jain and Kim here in a minute, a hot minute. Sorry? We could talk to Mccoll, maybe. You got one?
I tried to speak English, but I just have to talk it. I'm ready. Well, we are here now with Ramon de Grange. Ramon, thank you so much for coming and talking with us.
Thank you.
How have you found the walls here? Really long routes. How have you found it? If you're just a bit confused, this is Mathilde Becerra, that's next to us as well, helping us out just in case my French is as bad as the English and we get confused. But Ramon, the long walls here, how did you find the routes?
The route, it's not so really hard, but really, really long. We need to rest, and it's really hard for the mental to climb and try to continue it.
So it's a lot about endurance. You can feel it in the arms as you're getting up towards the top as well there. What for you was the hardest point on the wall?
In the top, I feel not so bad, and I thought in my head I can win, and after it's a blackout. But it's like that.
But still a fantastic result for you. What's the plan from now as you move into waiting for the next World Cups? Are you coming across over to China and to the Far East?
Yes, I am back home to Chamonix, and we leave next week to China for the next World Cup.
Okay, Ramon, thank you so much for talking to us. I wish you all the best. Thank you, Mathilde, for being with us as well. Mathilde, Sarah, there, just in case we needed translation. Thank you, guys. We're going to go and find some other people now, and I'll be back to you just shortly with some more of the finalists and podium positions. Well, that was really, really quick. We are already with Maya Vidmar, who joins us down here on the ground. Maya, thank you for being with us. How did you find the walls?
This route, yeah, it was a little bit too easy on the beginning. I didn't know, that's why I didn't climb so fast. It would be better to climb faster and then take a little bit rest. Because there I had some problems with the big ball, and then I did it, and I said, okay, let's a bit relaxed and rest. But then I thought, okay, Maya, you don't have time, let's go. Then I climbed all the time with the pumpy hand, so it was a little bit harder, but anyway, I'm happy.
So you look so strong on that section of the wall. You'd really managed to stick it round onto the very final piece. It must be really frustrating timing out after that, knowing that you were in a good position, you were ready to carry on moving. What was it for you that you think might have stopped you if you were able to carry on the wall? The holds ahead of you, did they look tricky?
Yeah, there I was strong. I feel just this part very pumpy, and I said, oh, Maya, just go, and yeah, I couldn't. I was too pumped because I couldn't rest. If I would have 2 minutes more, but if no.
So what's going on with you now for the rest of the season? Are you going to come out into the Far East tour when we go over to China, Korea, Japan? Are you going to be there for them?
Yeah, I will be there. I don't know, I just want to continue this style. Climb good, no mistake, and yeah, and enjoy.
Maya, I wish you all the best and congratulations for being here. Thank you, Maya. That was Maya Vidmar. We're going to try and get a few more interviews as well coming up for you now. I think Alex is coming across, so we'll see you in a couple of seconds and find the next person for us.
We're working on getting Jain Kim. I'm going to get right out.
we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready.
How do you feel?
Yeah, almost. This time, no luck.
It was, you looked like you were feeling really strong and like waved to the crowd and you were cheering and then just like slipped at the top.
Yeah, you know, when I taking a rest on the before the last part, I try to hear how many minutes I have more, but the audience
screamed.
Yeah, so I couldn't hear it.
Interesting.
And maybe I have to go, and I go, but yeah, but still I have endurance.
Yeah.
But at last, the edge has a texture.
Very slippery.
Yeah, so it slipped.
Yeah, it was, you didn't look tired, you just sort of
Yeah,
slipped off.
yeah. I thought I can do it, but this time no luck.
But you looked very good.
Yeah, thank
third
you.
place, right?
Maybe fourth.
Maybe fourth. Congratulations either way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Welcome to Atlanta.
Yeah. Nice city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many World Cups left in the season?
We have now. We have 4.
4 more after this one.
Yes. We have 3 World Cups in Asia and 1 in Slovenia.
Okay. And do you feel fit and prepared and strong for those World Cups?
Yeah, the first one and second one I was first, and then a little bit go down, and now going up again, so getting better.
Cool. Well, good luck in those World Cups. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I've managed to track down Katarina Posch, so she's come over and joined with us. We've just had a few brief moments to chat about the route that was here. In your opinion, starting off from the bottom, we've both said, yeah, it just looked like it got harder and harder and harder all the way up the wall. But you've said yourself that you really enjoyed climbing on it. What was it for you that made you enjoy that route?
Yeah, it was really nice. In the beginning, the holds were really good, and then it got harder and harder, like you said, and the moves were really nice, and I really enjoyed the route, and I'm really satisfied, and it was great.
There was that one point where you move up on the 2 different diagonals and then hit the roof there. For you, was there a point there where you hit that roof that you were just thinking, how am I going to get past this onto the next section? Or were you still quite calm there? Because it's a really long route.
No, I was really pumped there, so I tried to fight as long as I could, so it was great.
What does it mean to you at only 18 years old to be world ranked 5th on the senior circuit?
Yeah, it's incredible. Sometimes I can't really imagine it, but it's really great and I'm really happy about it.
So you're part of this Austrian climbing team that we've seen getting stronger and stronger over the past few years. You've got a really good support network back there. Who out of the Austrian team do you usually find yourself climbing with?
I train with my boyfriend, with Mario, which was in the final 2, and with Jakob and all the others in Innsbruck. We have a great training team, and it's really nice, and I think that's the secret for our success.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Do you think that's one of the most important things when you do go climbing, to have that support network with you? Those people that are there and are your friends, to make it an enjoyable thing. It's not just about the training, you've got other people there with you that are just there for the love of it. Would you say that some of your success is due to that and having your friends around you?
Yeah, it's really like that. And we like to train together, so it's really great for us, and I think it's the secret.
Okay, Katarina, thank you so much for talking with us again, and congratulations. So 2 seconds and I'll be back with Kim Jain. Okay, well, I have managed to find you and drag you away from the media that are swamping you at the moment after this competition here. Well done, first off. This is Kim Jain. We are here with you now. What was the wall like for you?
Here? It's just amazing. Yeah, I have never been before like this climbing wall. I visit here on Tuesday. I was so surprised. Yeah, I want to live here.
There you are. Anybody watching us in the US, Kim Jain saying she wants to live here purely because of the gym, Stone Summit.
Yeah.
They were quite long routes,
Yeah.
really long routes. Are you used to climbing such long routes? Did you find it hard?
Actually, my climbing style is a little bit slowly, so I worried about my climbing time. So I think the last my mind a little bit like fast, so I couldn't get the top. But anyway, I have a little bit. I have a lot of fun. Yeah.
So you feel like you might have rushed it a little bit towards the end because you were worried about the time?
Yes.
Right, okay, I see. Well, it definitely didn't show. And the only other thing I wanted to ask you is, how do you stay so focused? Because when you're on the wall, you just concentrate completely. The noise around you, does it not distract you?
Actually, it always care about like pressure, but I just try to enjoy my competition. Yeah, because climbing is so fun. Yeah.
Thank you, Kim Jain. Thank you for talking with us yet
Thank
again.
you.
I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Bye.
That was Kim Jain. Thank you for being with us. We'll try and find a few more people before we bring up those last little results and say goodbye to you. So a couple more seconds and I'll find someone else for you. Well, we are here with our head route setter, Vincent De Girolamo, and he has been setting these routes for us all the way through this competition. Vincent, how do you feel this has gone for you? I know there's a lot of nerves that go through, a lot of doubt about how the walls are going to be taken from the athletes. How has it been for you?
It was amazing for me. It was a very, very good rule setting, and the competitors are very strong. So strong this year. The men was maybe stronger than the route, sure. So it was very amazing and a good show.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process that you guys go through when you are setting? I mean, it seems to me like route setting is a kind of behind the scenes thing. I know a lot of guys don't really get to see what goes on and how much effort you put into setting on a route. What is the normal time that you are allowed to set a route in?
For one route setting, for one World Cup, we need a little one week. 1 week, it's okay. After, it's we are free to have to create something, and it's very, very important to know exactly the level of each climbers, and that's all, no more.
So how many usually do you have on your team? How many is usually on the team for route setting? How many have we got here?
For this World Cup, we was 6 route setters with me. The other World Cup, it's normal to be 4 route setters.
Well, Vincent, I have to congratulate you on these fantastic routes that we've had all the way through here. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I think we're going to have to wrap up as they are getting ready for the medal ceremony now. So go and enjoy watching the athletes take their medals on the routes that you set.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Vincent. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go back and have a little look at the medal ceremony now, and I'll be back with you in a few moments' time.
awards about to start right now. We're going to start first with the females. And at this time, we're going to start off in third place from Slovenia, Maja Vidmar. In second place, Mina Markovic. Representing Slovenia as well. And in first place, representing Korea, Kim Jain. Marco Scolaris, president of the International Federation of Sport Climbing, will be presenting the medals. Pete Torchicola, president of USA Climbing, will be presenting the winners' trophies. Thank you, Krista, holding the tray here for the medals. Looks like Gigi is filling in. And your winner, representing Korea, Kim Jain. And Pete Torchicola, president of USA Climbing. And here comes the Korean national anthem. Yes, folks, thank you. These are your female winners. And we especially thank the ladies from Slovenia, understanding we only have one flag for them. There should be two representing. As we get some photos here. We will be Kim Jain here getting some great photos with her fellow countrymen and some banners. She's well represented. As we switch over our flags here for the men's podium. You know, in that time, I believe I can announce the national teams. National teams, I'm going to do top three. In third place, it is Slovenia. Yes, Slovenia, congratulations. They had two female finalists on the podium in third and second. And in the second spot, it is France for the team rankings. They also had podiums as well. And in the first spot, Austria, well represented as well. You can't miss them in their purple jerseys. That is your national team rankings. Okay, here we are for the men's podium for the finalists. In third place, representing France, Romain de Grange. In second place, representing Austria, Jakob Schubert. And in first place, representing Spain, Ramon, Julian. At this time, Marcos Galeris, president of the International Federation of Sport Climbing, will be presenting the medals. Krista from USA Climbing with the tray. And your winner, Ramon Julian from Spain. Now, Pete Torchicola, the president of USA Climbing, will be presenting the winners' trophies to Ramon Julian. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Spain. Thank you, folks. 2012 Atlanta IFSC World Cup podium.
Well, guys, that about wraps things up here. That is the medal ceremony as we finish on our final for Lead World Cup rock climbing in here at the Stone Summit Climbing Gym in Atlanta. Alex, did you enjoy it?
Definitely. Awesome performances by all the athletes. Finals, not unpredictable. Jain Kim winning, Mina Markovic. Vidmar on the podium for the girls. Not surprising, and for the boys. Was it Ramon, Jakob, Romain?
And Romain, yeah.
That's not surprising to me either.
No, not at all. But a very exciting final, very, very long routes, very interesting, diverse routes set by Vincent, our head route setter. If you have been with us, thank you very much for being with us. I'm Daniel Finn, and this is Alex Johnson, a very well-known climber who's been with us all the way through the day. So thank you very much, Alex, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to leave things off with you guys now. Unfortunately, this is my last comp for the next 3, so I won't see you until Kranja at the end of November, but I'll obviously be watching, and I hope you guys will be as well, live on IFSC.tv. Do come back and join us again. I'll see you soon. It is goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me as well. This is the only Lead World Cup I'm commentating all year.
We'll get you back, I'm sure. Goodbye from Atlanta. Thank you for being with us. Good night.
Quickly, folks, I did announce the teams, but we'd like to bring them up to the podium at this time, if we may. If I could have some look.
Today, Top 30 is the only company in the world able to design, produce, set up and manage a top-level competition. Everything within the same company. Everything with the trustworthiness and professionalism that an official competition requires. Everything. Top 30. Top 30. The heart of climbing.
At the North Face, we don't just test our gear. We prove it.